started? You ready to get started? You ready to get started? Man, man, let's go. I think we almost ready, brother. What's up, man? I see you. Family, we are getting started momentarily. Please take a seat. We'll get started momentarily. Thank you for your patience and time. Bathrooms are on the left side here, to my left. Food is in the back. Please make sure you got some of the handouts because we're going to be talking and working through the handouts. If you didn't get one, feel free to grab one. We can have somebody bring one to you if that is better for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking your time on Saturday. I appreciate you. Real talk. I don't take nobody's time for granted. Thank you. And we can start in a moment. By the way, this is being live streamed too. Just a heads up, this is also being live streamed. So if you don't want to be on camera or you don't want to be on YouTube, you might want to sit towards the back. If you don't mind, sit closer to the front and enjoy the show.
Test 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 2.
Two. Where's Miss Tiffany? Y'all doing the intros, right? Yeah. She's on the way.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for coming. My name is Jan Williams. I want to introduce you to the space that you own, that you're in right now. I'm a board member of Downtown Crenshaw. Do folks remember about 5 years ago when a group of Black community organizers came together to purchase the Crenshaw Mall? Yeah. Y'all remember that? Raise your hand if you remember. Okay. And do you remember, even though we submitted the highest bid, we ran off 2 or 3 developers. We submitted the best bid. They still refused to give us our 40 acres in the mall. Do y'all remember that? We raised over $100 million in 2 weeks, y'all. $100 million in 2 weeks. Clap it up. Black folks came together and leveraged the moment and that white guilt and said, give us this money to buy our 40 acres in our mall. So they didn't sell the mall to us, but we are still doing work in the community, and we're still getting our 40 acres, 1 acre at a time, and this building is a community-owned community center, and this belongs to you. We also purchased, there was a nightclub across the street on the corner of 43rd. What's the name of that club?
Manhattan Flats? Maverick Flats?
The other one. What was the name of it? It was 43rd. It burned down. The Total Experience. Total Experience. That was a historic Black nightclub. It burned down. And guess who was able to purchase that because we had money? Downtown Crenshaw. by Black folks. All right? So you can, thank you. We have a total of 10 properties right now, commercial and residential. We've been helping folks who were in danger of losing their homes and adding ADUs onto the back and helping them save their home, and also creating space for new folks who couldn't buy a home. So yeah, so we didn't get that mall yet, but we do have a lawsuit, so he can't do nothing with it either, okay? We will not be refused. He can't do nothing with it either. So I just wanted to welcome you into this space, give you an update about what this space is, and let you know what's going on with Downtown Crenshaw. You can stay informed by going on to downtowncrenshaw.com. Click to sign in for updates. Once a month, we also do a food giveaway, a mutual aid in Leimert Park on the 4th Sunday of every month. All right? So thank you again. My name is Jan Williams, and I'm going to pass it over to Tiffany. But first, before I pass it over to Tiffany, it's Tiffany's birthday. So I want us to sing Stevie Wonder's Happy Birthday to Tiffany, okay? All right? On the count of 3, let's go.
That's all I can take.
Tiffany's been so committed to getting us so close, as far as we have in California reparations. So we really need to thank this girl for all the work that she's done. We are 100% volunteers, just like y'all. We all got regular jobs. We all got families. We all 100% volunteers and just passionate, love our people, and we are fighting for our people. So if you can, we have donations. You can donate to the organization. If you didn't sign in when you came in, we also have a QR code for you to sign in. And with that, Tiffany, I'm sorry. And bathroom is right here. Thank you, Jan. Thank y'all so much. To God be the glory. I'm so thankful for another year. And I just want to welcome you on behalf of the Lineage Equity and Advancement Project, LEAP. We are the grassroots org based here in Los Angeles that's been advocating for reparations for you and your family. And we are here today because we wanted to make sure the community was aware as to what's going on and how this impacts your family, and to get you involved, because this is the closest we've ever been. Doesn't matter who's in office, God has the final say. This is about justice for us. And so we are here today, like I said, to inform you, to give you a chance to have your say. So I'm so honored to be here. This is my hometown of South Los Angeles. I love this community, and everything I do is a labor of love. So I want to briefly introduce our board. Lori Jenkins, who's our co-chair. Chad Brown, who's our spokesperson. Raphael Plunkett, who's a board member. Let me see, anyone from LEAP? So that is the group. We work in conjunction with the Coalition for a Just and Equitable California, which is a statewide coalition. We have coalition partners in the Bay, Inland Empire, Sacramento, and some of them are here. I'll let Chris introduce. But once again, thank you all so much for being here. We hope you all, there's pizza, water, sodas, just make yourselves comfortable. So we're gonna have a great time, and I'm now going to bring up Billion from the Africa Town Coalition to give you a brief greeting. Oh, and I'm sorry, Jan Williams, is she still here? She's also a board member of LEAP as well. Okay, she's the newest member, so thank you. Intro, welcome. Yeah, you're supposed to say what's up for Africa.
Hey, greetings. How y'all doing, family? So my coalition. We basically are based here in what some of you still call L.E.A.P. We call it our Africa town. Because you know, we got Koreatown, everybody got their section. This is one of the last black hubs we have in this city, so that's why we're claiming that. But with the reparations movement, we've been going to, we started on Skid Row, we went to Watts, we went to Compton, and we're doing marches right now to try to galvanize the people. You know, one of the things the Black Caucus told us after the last election is that they won by historical numbers. You know, more people than ever voted them in. Do we even know about the Black Caucus? Have we gotten to that yet? Well, the Black Caucus is the ones who've been blocking our reparations. But we've been going because we know a lot of people didn't show up to vote in November. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to activate more people to get involved in this fight, especially those who are the most affected. Because a lot of times they say black people aren't voting, but there are reasons why we're not voting. Because we know we're being played by both sides. So we're trying to activate, educate more people to get involved so we can vote these people out. But we have a lot of black gatekeepers who are holding us back. And right now, black people are being pushed out of this city and all the formerly black cities across this country that right now, when we look, there's black officials in place. Whether it be mayors, council people, whatever, they're going along with this agenda to get rid of the rest of us, and they don't want to speak up. Even here in L.A., we know the racism is rising, but they're not speaking up because they don't want to lose votes from them other people. So right now, we are galvanizing the most affected, and we hope after you hear what's being presented today, more of you will get involved, because this is a reparations fight that we can win. Love y'all, and I thank y'all.
Thank you. And finally, Chris Lawson from CJAC, and we will get right into it.
Peace, peace. Good. It's still morning? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So first, just a quick introduction of myself. My name is Chris Lawson. I'm the lead organizer and advocate with Coalition for a Just and Equitable California, which is a statewide, all-volunteer, grassroots, community-led, community-driven, all American freedmen-led, and we'll talk about what that means soon, coalition, group of organizations who only fight for and were born and bred to achieve reparations and reparative justice for black Americans whose ancestors built this country. That's all we do. That's all we work on. In 2019 and 2020, we had the privilege, the pleasure, the honor really of helping to write the final version of the bill that became the law that created California's first in-the-nation reparations task force. We worked with then Assemblymember Dr. Shirley Weber, now of course California's first black Secretary of State, Dr. Shirley Weber, on that bill. Then we helped get the bill passed and signed into law. Jan was saying this earlier, we all volunteers. I call us regular black folks. That means we got jobs, kids, everything that you got going on, and we all come from outside of politics. So we all just learned just by doing and trying. And we learned and tried to get a law passed, and we learned along the way, and we got the first law ever created to do a state reparations task force passed in 2020, and then we worked with that task force, with that group of people. Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. We worked with that group of people to do community education, to do community outreach, to do community inreach for reparations. And after that task force or that group of people worked for 2 years, ending in 2023, it's so good to see the young folks pulling up. All right, there we go. The youth in the building. After that group of people finished working in 2023, we then went to turn those ideas and recommendations into actual laws and policies and real reparations, so to get reparations to you. And that's where we are right now. We are past the research, we're past the documentation, we're past the study, and we are actually at the point now where we're talking about what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, rather than if we're going to do it. So that's where we are right now. That's what we're working on, literally right now. I'm gonna give you a little bit more, but before I do, I want to just introduce my partner in reparations here. He was introduced lightly just a few minutes ago, but this is Chad Brown, who is going to be helping facilitate and co-run this amazing Town Hall Q&A. So, Chad, you want to do a more full introduction of yourself, brother, and then we'll jump in. What's going on, family? First of all, thank you for being here. If you're here, it's because you understand the importance and the gravity of what's happening right now here in the state of California. And I'm originally from Mississippi. I say this all the time. I'm originally from Mississippi, Jackson. That's my home. That's where all my people are right now. I'm telling everybody in Jackson what's happening right here in California. Because what's happening here is going to impact our people, our family, all around the country. And so what I tell people is don't just come here and listen. When you leave here, talk about it. Tell somebody what you're about to hear today. We have to be our own grapevine. We have to spread the word. Because I can tell you from firsthand experience, they don't want you to know what's happening. I see how they're suppressing what's happening. So we have to be the ones to each one teach one. Go tell your family, your friends, your pastor, your teachers, your schoolmates. I saw the youth come in, tell your friends, and on campus, wherever you are, we have to be the messengers bringing this word. I'm not even nearly as accomplished as Chris in this. I follow his lead, so I'm just gonna be up here helping facilitate. But please ask your questions. I want everybody here to leave with a very clear understanding of where we are right here today. Because as my brother here always says, and I'm sure he's gonna say it today, we are right now today closer to reparations than we have ever been in the history of this country. Understand it, listen, ask your questions, and again, thank you for being here. Thank you, Brother Chad. Put your hands together for Brother Chad one more time, please. All right, that time. All right. They told me not to walk to the back. I'm a walker, so I'm a walker and talker. So if anybody see me go past this camera, push me back, please. All right, that's for y'all in the back. Okay. So I just want to tell you what the objectives are for today. Really, what we want to do is education and outreach, and they get you involved. So we want to educate you, we want to do outreach to you, and we want to get you involved. As important as any one of those, if not even more important, is that we want to hear what you think. So as you are listening and as you are thinking, please do not be shy. There is we're here till 4. All right, so we got time to hear your thoughts. Okay, so keep that in mind as we go forward. We're gonna start. So some of you have so hopefully everybody got some of these handouts in the front. I'm gonna start with the handout that says CLBC Road to Repair 2025 Priority Bill Package. I want to start there. We're gonna do some education just to help you understand what is going on now, and I'm gonna need some help from you. Okay, so I'm gonna ask for some help from you to do this. Okay, so by the way, all right, for my team, please don't answer this question. What does CLBC stand for? What does CLBC stand for? My team not supposed to answer the question. California Legislative Black Caucus. All right, so what is that? He said something. Say that again, sis. Hold on. So sis said this is the people that's supposed to be representing us. That's close. Hold on. I don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think so. But that's a good question. Maybe we can find out. Hopefully, some of them will come today because we actually invited every single one of them to the town hall. Sis said you got a point back there. So these are your brother.
Is it okay to say that they're a treasonous group?
Okay, brother says they are a treasonous group. Okay. All right. People wonder why they saying that. All right. So by definition, these are the people who are elected to office to represent parts of California in Sacramento, and they are the black people who are elected to office. So they're called the California Legislative Black Caucus. There's 12 of them, 12 members. I want to say 3 state senators and then 9 state assembly people. All of them together equal what we call the California Legislative Black Caucus. Do some quick civic education here before we get into the stuff. How many state senators are there in total? Nope. State senators in total. Close. 50. Go down. You're a little high. 45, 48. Keep going. 35. 40. Okay. 40. So there's 40 state senators in California. These are 40 people who are elected to the California State Senate. How many state assembly members are there? Somebody said the number 80? The number is 80. Okay, so there's 80 state assembly members. So 40 state senators, 80 state assembly members. 40 and 80 is how much? 120. 12 of the 120 are black. Okay, so 12 of the 120 are black, and those 12 we call the Black Caucus. Okay, I just want to give you some knowledge about what we are looking at. And when it says on the page, Road to Repair 2025 Priority Bill Package, all that means is that these are the different bills or proposals or ideas that the Black Democrats, the Black Caucus, have proposed this year, either calling them reparations or related to reparations or related to something that the California Reparations Task Force did 2 or so years ago. And so that's what we're going to look through now.
Show of hands, who heard of the CLBC's Road to Repair legislative package? Just show of hands. Okay. I'd like to get a baseline for where we are in our understanding and what we understand about what's been proposed. So thank you for that.
Right on. Good question. And let's jump in. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at and talk about and review the different bills that they've introduced this year, calling them reparations or related to reparations. And then we're going to talk about what we like, what we don't like, what needs to be better, and how it can get better. And we're going to talk about it, you're going to talk about it, and then that's what we're going to do for the rest of the afternoon. All right? So, I need some help though. I need a volunteer. Volunteer. Can I get a volunteer to read this first one for me? Sis, back there, please. Read that first one. It starts with ACA 6. I think that starts with ACA 6. That's right, the mic is coming to you. Thank you, brother.
ACA 6 Wilson would prohibit slavery in all forms.
Okay, thank you. Right. Sis, what's your name, sis?
My name is Lavish.
Lavish. Thank you, Lavish. Please put your hands together for Lavish, please. Thank you. Okay? So, the first proposal that was introduced is something called ACA 6. What does ACA stand for? My team can't answer. What is ACA? What is that? Okay. Assembly Constitutional Amendment. So anytime you see ACA, it means Assembly Constitutional Amendment. On the page too, you're going to see a lot of ABs. What does AB stand for? Assembly Bill. Okay, thank you. And you'll see SB. What does SB stand for? Senate Bill. Okay, so Assembly Constitutional Amendments, Senate bills, and Assembly bills are being proposed. An easy way to understand this is that ACA, an Assembly Constitutional Amendment, is a proposal to change the California Constitution. So it's a proposal to amend or change the California Constitution. And it does what? Since Sister Lavish said it so beautifully, this proposal to change the Constitution would prohibit slavery in all forms. I'm going to come back to that. Okay? Can I get a volunteer for the second one? Hold on. Was there a question about that? Okay. If not, we'll ask for a volunteer.
ACA 7.
Okay.
Jackson seeks to clarify Prop 209 to ensure state, county, and local institutions. understand intent and parameters in current statute.
Okay. So this is another ACA, another attempt to change the California Constitution. By the way, the numbers are random. Okay? So you see 6, 7, 25, 15, the numbers are completely random. Okay? So this is another attempt to change the California Constitution. This one, as the good brother said so great, would clarify Prop 209. What is Prop 209? What is that? That is exactly right, Jan. And so Jan said that was the thing that made it illegal to do anything specifically for black people. Okay, that is pretty much right. So Prop 209 is short for Proposition 209, or Ballot Proposition 209. This was passed by California voters in the 90s, and it says that the government of California cannot give out no benefits specifically to any one racial group of people based on their race, or based on their sex, or based on their sexual orientation. So California can't make no laws or give out no government benefits that said this is only for white folks, or this is only for black folks, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what Prop 209 did. What this ACA would do would clarify that in some way. Okay, so thank you very much, Jan, and thank you, brother, for reading that. Let's go to the third one. It says AB 7. Who wants to help us with AB 7? Sis, right there. Thank you, sis.
Authorize priority admissions for descendants of African chattel slavery to higher education institutes.
Okay. So this is an AB Assembly bill, and this would authorize priority admission. So this would give people who are descendants of those who were enslaved and emancipated from this country a preference in admission to college. So when you apply to college, if this passes, when you or one of your loved ones or the young folks apply to college, and they can demonstrate that they are a descendant of someone whose ancestors built this country, they would get a preference. They would get an extra point or so, and they would get more likely to get admitted. And that's what this Assembly bill would do. All right, thank you for reading that, sis. Appreciate it. Let's go to the next one. Any volunteers for the next one? Yes, sir.
All right, we have AB 57, McKinner, seeks to allocate a portion of home purchase assistance funds to first-time home buyers who are descendants of American chattel slavery.
Okay, so thank you very much, brother. Appreciate that. So this is Assembly Bill 57. What this would do would put some money aside for people who are descendants of those who were enslaved in this country to buy homes. All right, so if your ancestors built this country, and if this passed, you would get some extra funds, some extra money for you to buy homes. All right, that's what this would do if it passed. If it passed. All right. Next one. Got the brother Marshall right here. Generation Z, I think, Alpha, Beta, one of them.
We have AB 62 seeks to create pathways for victims of racially motivated eminent domains to seek redress.
Thank you very much, brother. So this is another Assembly bill. This would, as it says, create a pathway. We'll talk about what that pathway is, but it will create a pathway for people who are the victims of racially motivated eminent domain. What is that? What is eminent domain? So when they come and take your property and don't give you what you, say that again, sis? Without, so sis said, right. So sis said it right, and sis, you said it right here too. Or they're supposed to give you fair market value. So it's when the government takes your property and it's supposed to compensate you for this bill. This would provide or create a pathway for people who had their property taken for racially motivated eminent domain, meaning it wasn't really public good, it was because we don't want you to have it because you're black type taking your property. That type of property taking. Now, that's racially motivated eminent domain taking. That happened all across the state of California. I mean, probably still going on, to be honest with you. All right. Let's go to the next one. Who wants to do the next one? Big brother back there. Thank you, sir.
5475 from Wilson. It seeks to require the CDCR to develop voluntary work programs for institutional residents. Anybody know what the CDCR is or stands for? That's California Department of Cannabis Regulations. So that's,
I think that's, wait, is it?
is it?
I think that's California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Yeah, that's the prisons. That's the prisons.
Okay, so yeah, this is a re-entry program though, is it?
No, this is a little bit different. Let me add, so great point though. Looking to the brother Chad right there. Thank you, brother. So CDCR is the prisons. Okay. By the way, in my intro, I did not share, but I do want to share some in LA. I also work as a policy manager for the Anti-Recidivism Coalition, ARC. We work with folks who are currently incarcerated or formerly incarcerated. I was in Stockton Prison last week, Sacramento County Jail last week. So we're very familiar with CDCR. And this bill specifically would require the prisons specifically to develop what they call voluntary work programs. This is related to the first one that Sister Lavish read about earlier. Because right now, exactly right, you can be enslaved right now in California. How can that happen? If you go to prison. Our California Constitution says something like slavery is prohibited, period. Involuntary servitude is prohibited, comma, except as punishment for a crime. So what that except as punishment for a crime does is it allows CDCR to force labor in prisons and to punish you if you decline work. And by punish, I mean take away your visitation, physically assault you. I've heard it all directly from folks who are currently down. So this bill is supposed to specifically tell CDCR that they have to do voluntary work programs, and then the ACA 6 that we talked about first is supposed to prohibit or take that slavery exception out the Constitution. So that's what it's supposed to do. Okay? Thank you, brother, appreciate it. It is only for people who are in CDCR custody. So you have to be in state prison to be affected by this.
I know when I go to this talk, I know it's been in existence a long time before Kamala Harris, but she probably something making it worse. That's what I was saying.
The question is, did Kamala Harris make that worse? Was the question. You want to put me on the spot right there? So it is true. There was when Kamala Harris was the Attorney General, I think, the state's Attorney General. Her office, I believe, wrote a letter, a public letter opposing stopping people from being forced to work in prisons because, according to the letter, it would hurt our state's ability to do all kinds of labor, like fight fires, et cetera, et cetera. But right now we got folks who are fighting fires who are incarcerated. They get, some of them do get paid, but I want to say it's $1.80 an hour, I think, before the taxes and the restitution come out. But that is partially true. There was a letter written by the Attorney General to say, don't stop the forced labor, because who gonna fight these fires?
And if you were paying attention during the recent wildfires, you saw our incarcerated brothers out there.
Right. All right, let me go to the next one, brother. You want to read the next one, brother? All right, we'll bring that mic to you. Thank you.
AB 742 seeks to designate descendants of American chattel slavery for priority in issuing professional licenses.
Okay, so this is a bill that would, if you are a descendant of somebody whose ancestors were enslaved and emancipated, freed in this country, this bill would give you priority when you apply for professional licenses from the state. So if you apply for some kind of professional license, you would have a preference or priority if you are a descendant of somebody whose ancestors were enslaved in this country. Yes, sir. That's right.
To firefighters. So the reason why they rather hire us firefighters as slaves than to hire us legal practices and put us on these payrolls. Everyone knows these fire departments are more likely than to
Right on. The brother is absolutely right. Please put your hands together for that. That was absolutely correct. I was in Sacramento on Tuesday for a hearing on a bill that would pay or change the pay of those who are fighting fires while they're incarcerated. Because right now, like I said, they're getting $1.80 an hour. Those are some of the best jobs, best paying jobs, by the way. You know, if you're in the county jail, you literally can't get paid more than 25 cents an hour. 25 cents an hour. If you're in county jail, by law, it's capped at $2 a day. If you are in prison and you are forced to work, if you get paid at all, some of the best paying, I want to say best, it's not best, but some of the jobs that pay the highest are those where you gotta fight fires for $1.80 a day. So now there's a bill right now to increase the pay for those who are incarcerated while they fight fires, to make them get paid the same thing that somebody who's not incarcerated while they fight fire gets. Okay, so that's a bill coming up right now. I got a hand from the young folks up in the back there. Can does the young sister want to read the next one? Okay. Can we get the mic to the young sister back there, right next to Sister Lavish? And we're looking at, I think it's AB 766. The mic is on the way. Thank you very much. Great job, by the way, y'all. All right, great job. Good work. Yes, young sis.
Sharp coins seek to among the other require, other things require racial equity emphasis for executive branch agencies and respond accordingly to further evidence of racial equality.
Thank you so much, sis. Great job. I don't even know what generation that is. Generation 8. Okay. Thank you, sis. You did a great job. Sister, what's your name? Daynetta. Beautiful name, sis. Thank you so much. You did a great job. So, Daynetta is absolutely right. So this is a bill that would require what we call a racial equity analysis for all what we call the executive branch agencies. That's the governor's office. That's folks who work with the governor's office. So any agency or anybody work with the governor's office, they would have to do what they call a racial equity analysis before they start doing stuff. Okay, all right? Got a question? Yeah. Good question. So the question is, and the thought is, would Prop 209 impact something like that? Technically, no, and here's why. Prop 209 does not stop the state, or what we call Prop 209, or the state's ban on doing anything for one racial group of people. That doesn't stop the state from collecting data or doing like research or analysis on different racial groups of people. So, because this doesn't put no money in nobody's hands or give no government benefits, it's safe from what we call Prop 209 or that government ban. All right, we need a volunteer for the next one. I'm gonna start calling on people. Got a hand? Okay, come on.
AB 785, Sharp Collins will create the Community Violence Interdiction Grant Program and fund community-driven solutions to decrease violence in neighborhoods and schools.
Okay, thank you very much. So this is a bill from Assemblymember Sharp Collins that would create something called the Community Violence Interdiction Grant Program. So this would create a program to give grants for programs that stop community violence. Okay, that's what this particular bill would do. It would put some money behind community programs that stop or that are built to stop community violence. Yes. Oh, you speaking my language. The question is, any of these bills got cash money reparations in them? You tell me. I mean, all right, we ain't heard cash yet. Where is the money? Where is the money? Okay. Look, they owe us money. Okay, we're not playing. They owe us money. Okay, we're not playing. Okay, where is the cash money? Where is the money? Okay. Where is you see the hat?
Keep on asking that question, by the way. Keep on asking that question.
Okay. The short answer is no. The short answer is no, and that is a problem. Okay? And there's another part of the answer, which is we're actually the only ones in that Capitol fighting for the cash checks. Okay? And I'm gonna give you an example quickly. Just last Wednesday or Tuesday, I think it was, we were at the Capitol for a hearing to tell the state to put checks in the budget. All right, so to put checks, specifically to start with our seniors first. We want to start with our elders first. Start to cut them checks for our elders first. Right? So we're fighting for that, and we'll come back to that. That is something that's not on here, but that we're doing anyway. Okay, I need another volunteer. We got a few more. Yes. Can we get up there? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, AB 801, Bonton, would direct the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation in collaboration with the Civil Rights Department to identify and address ongoing mortgage lending discrimination.
Okay, so this is a bill that would tell parts of the government to identify and address, and what does address mean is the question, address ongoing mortgage lending discrimination. All right, so how that's addressed is specifically talked about in the bill, but that's what this bill would do. It would say parts of the government look for and then address mortgage lending discrimination. All right, thank you very much, Nita. Appreciate that. Thank you for reading. We got another one. Yes. Okay, well, I should read first, though. Read first. Thank you very much. I appreciate you doing it. We're on 935.
AB 935, ransom, would require the Civil Rights Department and the Department of Education to collect anonymized data to determine how complaints are handled.
Okay. Thank you for reading that, brother. What's your question, sir?
Just with respect to the last one, maybe the 935 is related to the one. I just want to, this address part, basically my question is, what are they going to do about it?
Yeah.
I assume we're talking about stuff like red line. And if they're not going to start punishing these banks and these companies, like pulling their federal funding or pulling their statuses, then it's a moot point.
Yep.
I assume their punishment is also included in this.
Well, I guarantee you that's not in the bill.
Right. And that is part of the problem. And so you're absolutely right. What does address mean? Address got to mean consequences, punishments, payments, right? Restitution. I didn't see that in the bill. Okay? But you are talking about the right thing, and you are pointing to the exact right thing.
Y'all see a theme, right? No cash, no punishment.
And we got sis right there, brother, in the red. I think this one. on. I'm of the, well, so thank you for your thoughts, sister. I'm of the opinion we gotta take all roads to get what we owe. Thank you for those thoughts, sister. Let's go to two sisters in the back, and then we need another volunteer or two to read. So I think we got two in the back here, family. Yes.
Oh, we're getting there. We are getting there. We are in that process right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm just going, since you said it right, I'm just going to give you the punchline right now. None of these bills are reparations to me. Not one, okay? Not one, okay? I'm just, and we can talk about it, all right? And I know we have our different thoughts about what we think reparations are, and everybody's thought is valuable in that talk. But I'm just telling you, to me, and sis is speaking to it, not one of these bills is actually a reparations bill. There are other things, right? You know, some things might be good ideas, but where is the actual reparations at is the question. So thank you very much, sis. I do need another reader because we got to get to here. Okay, we're gonna go here, and then here. All right, okay. I'm gonna round this up.
SB 437, Robert Pearson, would require the California State University to independently research and report on scientific methodology to determine an individual's genealogical fingerprint for the purpose of verification as a descendant of an enslaved person in the United States.
Thank you very much for reading that. We're gonna come back to this bill for sure.
Yeah, remember that one.
This is probably the worst of the bills, if you ask me. And we're gonna talk about why that is. This is probably the worst of the bills, to me. We got a reader here.
SB 464, Smallwood Cuevas, seeks to expand employee democratic data reporting to the Civil Rights Department for the purpose of enforcing civil rights protection under existing law.
Okay. More data collection. Collecting data about employee demographic and discrimination to enforce civil rights protection. So this bill would require more data to be collected. Okay. Yes, go to the next reader, and then I can't wait to hear what y'all think. I can't wait.
SB 503, Robert Pearson, seeks to regulate the use of artificial intelligence in critical healthcare application to mitigate racial bias present in commercial
Algorithm, yes sir. Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate that. So this is a bill that would, as it says, quote, regulate the use of AI, artificial intelligence, in healthcare so that racial bias is not showing up in the computer software that they use. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting frustrated just reading. Just read these, okay? These may or may not be good ideas on their own, right? You know, but we're talking about reparations. Okay. All right, we got two more, and then we're going to talk, or continue to talk, all right? We got brother here, and then, yeah? Okay.
SB 510 seeks to require complete and accurate K-12 curriculum regarding racial disparities, including impacts to segregation, slavery, and systemic discrimination.
Okay, so this is about the curriculum, about education, about what your kids are getting in the classrooms, and this is putting more of what the true history is and information about racial bias and racial discrimination in the textbooks. Not a bad idea. I think we all want more knowledge and more truth to be in the textbook. Okay, and we got one more. Last one, this is the last one, and then, oh, we had it. Oh, okay.
I also have a
Yeah.
let's do the question and she can read it.
Sure.
You want to ask a question? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, so would Bruce's Beach be a good example of, AB 62, I believe?
So yes, so the answer is yes, the taking of the property of Bruce's Beach from the Bruce family would be an example of a racially motivated eminent domain taking. So the answer to that question is yes. Will the bill the bill that we talked about, AB 62, help people who had that happen to them? The bill is supposed to help those folks. There's some problems with the bill, but the bill is intended to help folks who had their property taken by things like racially motivated eminent domain. But the answer, yes, that is an example of that. Absolutely. Okay, and then we got last one. Let's get it.
SB 518 Weber Pearson would establish the Bureau of Descendants of American Slavery.
Okay, so this is a bill that would create a state bureau whose job it would be to, among other things, do genealogy work, and there's a partner, I think, that also says something about getting people their property back too. There's some problems with this bill also. We're gonna talk about them. Thank you very much, though. I appreciate you for reading. That is the list of 15 or so bills that were introduced called the Road to Repair Reparations bills by those Black Democrats, the Black Caucus that we just talked about, or that we talked about to start. So that is the 15 bills. You have been now educated about what those bills are. So now you know what the Black Caucus and the Black Democrats are introducing. All right. There's some bills that we didn't talk about, and then I want to get some to your questions. Brother Chad, if I could ask you real quick your questions and your thoughts, really. Brother Chad, so we talked about all these different bills. Can you talk to the people and just share some thoughts about what you think are some of the problems with, for example, one of the ones that I think is one of the most problematic, which is Senate Bill 437, and then also the last one that we talked about, Senate Bill 518.
Yeah, I'm happy to, Chris, because they're big problems. So the very first thing I want to say is understand that the CLBC is in Sacramento and it's supposed to be representing us, representing y'all. That's why they're there. So far, they're not doing that. So SB 437 and SB 518, and really all the other bills are tied to SB 437. Because all the bills will say that they want to do something for descendants of American chattel slavery. Is that the terminology you're using? For descendants of American chattel slavery. But SB 437 is the bill that says they have to study how to figure out who is a descendant of chattel slavery. I'm not done. They have to study it, but in that bill, there's no start date for the study, and there's no end date for the study. So literally, that study could go on forever until anything else that you read on that piece of paper gets done. So I want everybody really to understand that. They have structured this package so that everything depends on SB 437. But I'm not done. SB 437 was actually written by Gavin Newsom. So you might have saw last year where we had an agency bill, SB 1403, and we had a bill for starting a fund for reparations, SB 1331, that didn't make it to the floor of the assembly for a floor vote because the Black Caucus blocked their own bills. In the process of that, Governor Newsom submitted amendments to SB 1403 that would have turned that agency into a study that would have been done with the CSUs in partnership with nonprofit organizations. And to do this study with no start date and no end date, they needed $6 million. So The caucus has introduced a bill that was written by Gavin Newsom that calls for a study with no start date, no end date, that allows them to spend $6 million with nonprofits, and we have no idea who those nonprofits are. You rightfully upset, sister, because I'm furious about it. Because I want you to understand what I said in the very beginning. These folks are up there for your interests. This bill was written by Gavin Newsom. So who they working for? We gotta start asking these questions. Now, with SB 437, they are saying they are gonna study this in the CSUs forever. And then whenever that study gets done, probably never, they'll be able to do the rest of everything that you see on this piece of paper. Because they can't figure out who we are. I don't know about y'all, but I know exactly who I am. And I don't think we need to study how to do genealogy. We got genealogists that know how to do genealogy. We got corporations and companies that do genealogy. We got records out the wazoo to do our genealogy with. What we need are the resources to do the genealogy. But the Black Caucus is telling us, well really Gavin Newsom is telling us through the Black Caucus, that we need to study this forever. Probably until he gets out of office and he'll have to deal with it. So understand the poison pill that SB 437 is and how they have built that into this package to kill everything else. Even the stuff that's not reparations. Because I didn't hear cash anywhere in there. Again, I didn't hear anything in there that can help me pay my rent. My daughter's in here, she's in college. I didn't hear anything that can help me pay her tuition. I didn't hear anything that's gonna put food on the table. Nothing tangible. These are elected officials. And many of you live in their districts. They need to hear from you, particularly about SB 437. Now, let's talk about the Bureau bill just real quick. So last year, we had SB 1403 that would have created the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency. And shout out to Senator Bradford, because he was a champion for that bill all throughout the last legislative session. SB 1403 would create that state agency, and that state agency's job was to provide resources for us to do our genealogy and to validate eligibility for reparations. Very simple, right? Easy to understand. After they killed SB 1403 last session, they committed in writing to bringing it back. Because they said, oh, we had to kill it, but we're gonna bring it back, y'all. We got y'all. That's what they told us. What they brought back was the combination of SB 518 and SB 437. Remember I told you 437 is a poison pill. But 518 now creates a bureau that changes the language from 1403 from this is something for American freedmen, specifically descendants of persons enslaved and emancipated here in this country, to it's the descendants of
Black,
African-American, and some other nonsense. But anyways, that sister is 100% on point. Because remember we talked about Prop 209. Can't do anything on race. Not in this state and not in this country, because we also have the 14th Amendment. So, I want y'all to understand what I'm telling you. Your black legislators are working for the governor, they're working for the Democrat Party, they're not working for you. But instead of not just working for you, they trying to trick you at the same time. They trying to put stuff out there and say, hey black people, this is for y'all. But we don't know when it's gonna start, when it's gonna end, or what else we're gonna be able to do whenever. So, Please, questions. Absolutely. 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 You're absolutely right, brother. Say it. Amen.
When you look at 1866, come on, they still back then. You know what I'm saying? Because they used all our laws on that. And they were supposed to. The Jews got their own laws that you can't use. You can't use their laws. You can't go sign up for their program. You can't use nothing. They got at least $3 trillion. And there was only 200,000 came here. And they was old then. So who's getting it now?
And he didn't have to study.
Our tax dollars. Our tax dollars. So our 14th Amendment is being violated right now.
That's right.
You gotta sue these people. You gotta sue. You can keep this going. You can keep pushing this. But you have to sue them, take them to court.
Thank you, brother. That was another question? Yeah, go ahead, bro. Hold on, let me bring you the mic, brother. They telling me they want to be able to hear. Yes, sir.
Just a lot of stuff. To go to what this sister was saying over here, how do we get reparations, cash reparations on these sorts of bills? You make them pay in the ballot box. You threaten to vote them out. You make sure that these people know that they will not be getting a vote and they will be losing their jobs if they don't bend the knee to our demands. And what the brother was saying over here, black family, don't let anyone gaslight you into thinking that this is impossible or this is rocket science. Our enemies have spent the last 60 years basically giving us a blueprint of how we can get our reparations because they've been giving them to everybody else. They knew how to distinguish Japanese Americans from Japanese that were just coming over here. They knew who needed, they knew who was going to get the money and who wasn't going to get the money. They knew it wasn't going to go to Koreans, it was going to go to specifically Japanese Americans who were in turn. Same thing with the Ukrainians, same thing with the Jewish folks, and these are things that these are atrocities that didn't even happen on American soil. So don't let them gaslight you into thinking that it's rocket science.
That's right. That's right. And just since we're talking about the money, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. Just one. Okay, go ahead, Big Money. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Big Money.
Greetings, everybody.
Salute,
I've been doing this a long time.
Here we go.
And the bottom line is, when it's all said and done, where's our money? It's been 4 years. 4 years. And we are still being gaslighted. Now, all I'm saying to you, Chad, and to you, Chris, is that it's time for us
to realize
a bill that's going to include us in it for reparations. Now, I wrote a bill, in spite of what you're saying about, what's his name? Bradford, Steve Bradford. Bradford said to expedite and to prohibition everything that you just read on his bill. I got a problem with that. After 500 years, you're going to write something like that and then turn around and tell me that I'm supposed to expedite it and prohibition it? We don't even use that word in our community no more. Prohibition. But yet I'm hearing that we're supposed to support Steve Bradford for that. I got a problem with that. Now, I want reparations. I'm 74, soon to be 75 years old. Come March 29th. I'm a brother like no other from another mother. Welcome to the City of Angels. And I'm one of our guardian angels. One of them. And I'm saying to you now, we gotta have in bills reparations for us.
Amen.
Something's gotta be in there for us. And I'm talking about $5,000 every single month to the day we die. It comes to our direct deposit. our snail mail, or our P.O. box to the day we die.
Let's talk about it.
To the day we die. And then we can deal with the other atrocities that happen to us. But we got a lot of sellout people here today. You know, I hate to admit it, and I'm not going to even hate to admit it. I feel like I'm in the house of the foxes, and I'm the hen. Okay? Because we got a lot of people that like to talk about it, but they don't want to be about it. They want to talk about it, but they don't want to be about it. Well, I want to be about it.
Everybody in this room, Big Money is about it.
Yeah, but it's been 4 years now. 4 years! It's time for us to get to Sacramento and tell them to put something in that bill that's going to represent us. That's going to represent you, and you, and you, and you, and all of you. Don't try to shut me down.
Money, you gotta let us get to what you're talking about, because we have that answer. Hey, Big Money. You gotta let us get to it. Let me follow up real quick with Big Money. Let me follow up with what Big Money said real quick, and then I want to get to my sister asked, because the brother Big Money is rightly frustrated. Okay, you right? Trust me. 4 years. I've spent the last 4 years in Sacramento, kicking in doors, working to get checks in people's hands. Yeah. So if anybody's frustrated, it's me. Okay? So you are rightly frustrated. Mic check? Okay. Secondly, the sister had a question earlier, and it's related to what you said. And the brother just said it too. Where's the bill at for the cash? There is a bill for the cash. There is a bill for the cash. It's called the budget bill. It's called the budget bill. Every year, that's where the money is. It's AB 227 and SB 65, I think. Those are the two budget bills this year. That's where the money is. And that's why we were, and we continue to be in Sacramento every 2 weeks at the budget hearings, saying put checks inside that budget. All right, so the brother's absolutely right. He's rightly frustrated. It was a great question. They want to get back to the other comments and questions. Yes, sir.
I don't know, I've been on this earth for 78 years, 77 years, going on 77 years. And this fight I'm on is, I've been fighting every day of my life as a black man living in the ununited states of America. And this system is designed to do what it's doing. It's overrun with corruption, and they keep throwing kibbles and bits. And that's all we are getting, because the centrifugal force of the winds is not strong enough to overtake and stand up against this corrupt white supremacist caste, C-A-S-T-E system that is employed. But we literally have to demand and fight for change. It's not going to be given, and they don't want to relent. You got an orange outlaw in the White House that's loaded. I don't know what he's on, but it ain't good for the people. And we need change, and we have to come together. There are more things that bind us together than separate us. We got to come together. That's the only way.
Amen.
To demand and fight for
That's why we're here today. Thank you, brother. That's why we're here today. So that you know what's happening. So that you know when they come to you and they say, we have this road to repair package. You know it's trash. And you can tell them to their faces, do better, or we will vote you out. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, thank you. My name is McKinley Michael Robinson. I'm just now getting into this. I remember my man there when we went to Sacramento. I'm just getting into this. And my concept is this. The older gentleman, which one of y'all was called African Americans in your time? I keep wondering why y'all keep accepting this African stuff. Dred Scott won his case. they overturned this case? They overturned this case because they told him you are African. You don't count. That's why they keep pressing African on us. Them OGs ain't know nothing about no Africa. They was never called African. I'm 66. I ain't never was no African. I was a black American. I was a Negro American. I was not an African. Because I'm not from Africa. What do I know about Africa? That's how they keep tricking us. Dred Scott won his case. And then they turned around and told him, oh, wait. You are an African, so we retract your win. And that's how all of a sudden now everybody's an African American. Except for me. I call myself a black man. B-L-A-X-B-L-A-C-K man American. A black man American who's thankful of the OGs like the Tuskegee Airmen who are the exact example of perfection. People keep forgetting about perfection. The Tuskegee Airmen lost not one airship. Not one. Do you know what that means? Perfection. And I am the reflection of perfection, as we are all reflections of perfection, and we're not no African. We are black, Negro, anything but Americans. Get rid of that African, because that's how they keep tricking us.
Amen. Family, we are taking comments, questions, and thoughts. Comments, questions, and thoughts. This is what we're doing, all right, for most of the rest of the time. Yeah, I'm with it. Okay. Let's go to the sister here. Then we're going to come around. We're going this way, all right? Let's go this way. If I can slide through. I'm sorry about that. Slide through. Sorry about that. Hello. Good to see you.
Hello, everyone. I have a couple of questions. One, when were these bills introduced? What is the current status? And then going back to AB 801, 935, 503, and 510. All of these bills relate to programs, or not programs, offices that MUST is eliminating. The Consumer Affairs Department, the Educational Department, the health care that we're receiving. So how does this relate to what's happening now, these bills? And also this the 209, I think you said it has something to relate to.
Think of Prop 209 as killing affirmative action in California.
So how does that coincide with the current DEI that MUST, I won't say Trump because he ain't doing nothing, it's all MUST, is eliminating?
So I want everybody here to have a real understanding of what affirmative action was and what DEI was. We were not benefiting from those programs. The biggest beneficiaries of affirmative action were white women. The same is true for the DEI programs. So we have to divest ourselves of the idea that DEI or affirmative action is good for us in this day and time. And we're going to talk about what is good for us in this day and time, and how do we get those resources and ultimately the cash to specifically our community. I want to get into that, so we got to keep on taking questions. Chris, I want to hear from everybody, but we got to get to 1315.
Well, let me answer her questions too. Yes, a few questions at the top. So when were the bills introduced? They were introduced February 21st, so about a month ago. The current status of the bills are they are in the first part of the process, so either they have been already sent to their first committee for a hearing, they are scheduled for their first committee hearing, or they're in the process of getting sent to their first committee for a hearing. So they're in the first part of the process. I think almost not every bill, but maybe about half of the bills. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that part of your question too. But just on the status, this is a really good question. Where are these bills now? Is the question. So they are on the start of the process. And so that is where the bills are now. Either they have a committee hearing scheduled, or they're about to have a committee hearing scheduled, or they're going to the place where they're going to have a committee hearing scheduled. And then to your question about the parts of the agencies that are being eliminated, most of cuts to the agencies that are happening right now are happening to federal agencies. These are state level agencies, so they're not directly, so for example, the president and his team cannot directly cut directly to those specific agencies. They can cut money to California generally, and then California would have to cut from different places. But those specific cuts that are happening at the national level do not impact or not impact directly those specific agencies. We have state level versions of almost every agency that the federal government has. So, Chris, you got a hand up front? Absolutely.
It's a matter of time before it hits the state.
It is absolutely possible, and if you were at some of the budget committee hearings and you listen to some of the people at the Capitol talk, the people at the Capitol do expect that the cuts to the federal budget are going to impact California's budget and California's agencies, etc. So I think that is absolutely possible. Will California cover it some other way and fill up the money gaps? That's what they're talking about now.
Just two things, sister, because I want, you are absolutely right. It could impact us here, but that underscores why we need a federal or state agency to protect us and our interests in this state. And we're going to talk about a bill that we have moving to do just that. I also want to call out, you're confused on what these bills are for a reason. They don't want you to know. They're trying to do all this in silence. You don't hear them out there talking about this. These folks, they say they're doing reparations, but they're not talking about it. Think about that for a second. Go ahead, brother.
All right, a couple of observations. We got SB 437, that's the California State University study bill. And then we got SB 518, that's the Bureau of Descendants of American Slavery. Both of those bills were written by Shirley Weber's daughter. And so Shirley Weber is the one that set it up. You know, Black Americans, we don't have any type of immigrant sort of family or anything like that. She was very clear about that. But then it looks like we have Shirley Weber's sister or daughter working directly with the governor. That's one thing. The second thing is these other bills, I mean, the likelihood of them being voted on, I'm trying to get people's thoughts on that. What is it? Is it over 50%? Is it under 50%? Because right now it's like we're playing offense. We got the other bill going with Asali or whatever his name is. But then we have these bills, and then people still may get confused with the whole I'm voting Democrat and I'm going to be down with my Democratic person. So we got some people that are going to be confused. How are we going to battle that?
Can I take that as a segue?
Go ahead, I know you did. I know you wanted.
To the question, and then I'm going to pick up on both of your observations, but to the question, just so the question is answered. What's up, sis? The question is, how likely is it that the bills that we just talked about are going to get votes and get voted on? Very likely that they're going to get voted on. Very likely that they're going to get votes. Some of them have hearings coming up, as I was just telling the sister. Very likely. So, I mean, almost, it's more than 50% that every single one of the bills that we're talking about right now are going to get votes. Will they become law? I can't say, but I'm almost 100% positive that every one of these bills are going to get hearings and votes. But will they become law is a different question. Then, yes, you're absolutely right. The two bills that Brother Chad talked about that are probably the most problematic, the study bill and then the bureau bill, they were introduced by State Senator Akilah Weber Pearson, who is the Secretary of State's daughter, Dr. Shirley Weber's daughter. So you're absolutely right there. And then you mentioned another piece that I want to pick up on, which is you mentioned somebody named Asali. Who is that? Who is Asali? Who is it? Okay, so. Okay, so the brother said it right. I'm sorry, you want to say something to me? He is.
Chris, we got a hand up front. Because we need to go into 13, 15, but I want to make sure we get to the questions, okay?
So hold that, I'm going to come back to that, but put a pin in that, we're going to come back to that.
My question is a lot, but I'm wondering,
Let me just say one thing, Chris. I know you got your comments on that. No, go for it. So, I want y'all to understand that when you cast your vote, that's the end of the process. That's the end of the work, okay? The work is actually happening before you cast that vote. To make sure you have something on the ballot to vote for, okay? That's called having an agenda. Not having a politician, not having a party, having an agenda. And our agenda is reparations. So to your question, we have to enforce our agenda onto the ballot in the form of these legislators. So if we have legislators, which we currently do in Sacramento, that don't support us, that aren't listening to us, that aren't pushing our interests, we have to put those in there that do, that will carry the agenda. And that's how we used to do politics. We got out of that. We got bamboozled into thinking just because somebody looks like us, they're gonna have our best interest, they're gonna have our back. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, that ain't true. I hope I answered your question. But we're gonna get to what the agenda is. Because see, that's the part of this where we're talking about bill of sailing, because we have an agenda that's right now in Sacramento that you have to be aware of. Go ahead. We combine.
We'll get that help with the representative we have instead of vote, because our votes could never win with the vote, because we outnumbered. Way outnumbered.
With the people that we cast our votes for, we have to make sure that they are carrying our interests. Period. Okay? So, and if you don't have anybody that's carrying your interests, you show up and you tell them, you're not working for me, so I'm not voting for you. Now, we're about to tell you who is carrying our interests, that you can vote for, and what the agenda is.
And I want to get to your question too, because you asked about the how, right? How do we enforce, or how do we get what we want done with low numbers, right? Which is, I mean, that's the right question to be asked. That's one of the right questions to be asking. So, our sister's absolutely right. We have, just by numbers, there are 2.5 million people in California who identify as Black or African American. So 2.5 out of 40 million, 2.5 million out of 40 million people. So that's about, 5%, 7% at best. So how do you get things done politically when you have, and that's everybody who self-identifies as Black or African American. That includes people who can't vote yet because they're, not 18 or not 16. And people who, who don't vote, right? So that's everybody. If you talk about the number of people who actually do, take the time to vote and do that, that's even less. So the question is absolutely right. How do we get things done politically? And that is a challenge, and that's what we're working through every single day. Maybe I can give an example of what we're doing. So part of the first thing we are doing are things like this. It starts with you knowing what's going on and being educated and connected to the information about what's going on. So that's that no matter what we do next, we have to start there. And so part of how we're doing this is doing what we're doing now, by educating our people and listening to our people also. Secondly, we're organizing our people. So it's education, right? And then it's organizing, regular organizing. Okay? So that means we get connected regularly and we come together regularly. So it's education work and it's organizing work. And then it is actually what we call getting involved. So I was going to say activism, but that's a fancy way to say it, just getting involved. And that is, to my brother Chad's point, at every part of the process. So the political season, I use sports analogies a lot. There's a regular season and there's an off season. The regular season is from what you might call January to, let's say, the end of September. That's when we are writing bills, we're passing bills, we're passing laws. From October through December, we are figuring out what we're gonna do next time, what we're gonna bring and try to pass next time. So part of the getting involved part is being a part of every single part of the process. And that's part of the work that we are doing. So before you leave today, I would love to invite you to become a volunteer, because we are involving ourselves in every single part of the process. But it's outreach and education, and then it is organizing, and then it is mobilizing or getting involved. And make no mistake, you don't have to have a majority to get things done in Sacramento. So I think that's part of what people think too, that you have to have the majority of numbers. You don't have to have the majority of numbers to win things that you want. It helps. Let's be real, it definitely helps. I mean, I see it happening. But you don't have to have a majority of the numbers of the people who look like you. You do have to have a majority of people who think like you and support you. And so while we have smaller numbers, part of what we have to do also, part of what we do every day, is bring other people on who are not a part of our community and get them to support the things that we do too, to build to our numbers, or to build up our numbers. We're doing this every single day. And if I could take a moment, then let's get back to the questions and the thoughts. I do want to talk about something that the brother brought up. So, and this is actually an example of this actually happening. So, we wrote a bill to create a state agency to verify, my brother said the right word, validate who are descendants of those who were emancipated from chattel slavery in this country. And then we worked to get a legislator, a state assembly person, to introduce it on our behalf. And that happened about 3 or so weeks ago. This is with the lower numbers, right? But through education and outreach, through organizing, and through mobilizing work. So the brother mentioned the name earlier. We asked folks, had they heard the name L.E.A.P? That is short for, or the last name of one of the assembly members, specifically Assembly Member Bill L.E.A.P, or Bilal L.E.A.P is his whole name. He is a Republican. He is not a part of the Democratic Party. He is a Republican. And we worked with Bill L.E.A.P over the past few months and convinced him to introduce a bill to help validate who are the descendants of those who were enslaved in this country. And that is, the number on that bill is Assembly Bill AB 1315. And so that's not on your list of bills and, you know, in that road to repair, but it's Assembly Bill AB 1315. But we have info cards about it at the front. Most of you got some. And then we have a set of talking points or some information about Assembly Bill 1315. Now this is important to say, and then we'd love to hear your thoughts about it. First, we want to be very transparent. We disagree with Bill L.E.A.P on some things. Just like we disagree with almost anybody and everybody on some things. I don't know any political person I agree with anything 100% on. Anyone. But there's some things that we do agree on. And one of the things is the state needs a way to figure out and demonstrate who the descendants of those who were emancipated from chattel slavery are. Because up until this point, there has been no category of data collection. There's been no place for you to say, I am a descendant of people whose ancestors built this country. Up until this point. And this is especially important now because we talk about cutting checks. Well, the first thing you need to cut checks is you need to know who to cut the checks to. That's the first thing you need. And so Assembly Bill 1315 will create a state agency called the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency In that agency will be created something called the Office of American Freedmen Genealogy, and that office will provide you free genealogy services to help you validate that you are a descendant of somebody whose ancestors built this country. That's the first step to do checks. That's the first step to do anything else. Now, this was a surprise to people because I think y'all know I've been told this my whole life too. If you black, you're supposed to be a Democrat. You're only supposed to work with the Democrat Party. That's what I was told. That's the kind of house that I came up in. I've moved past that. Technically, I'm an independent. I'm a no-party preference. That means if you got a good idea, I'm gonna support it. I don't care what the letter by your name is. I think somebody was saying it right now. We are policy over party. We are policy over party. If you have a good idea, I don't care if it's a Republican, a Democrat. I think my brother Zeno said, someone said in his family, if it was a Republican, okay? If it's a Green Party person, a pink polka dot, I don't care. If you got a good idea, I'm gonna support it. So that's what the bill would do. The bill is in the early start of the process right now. It was introduced about 3 weeks ago. And we're gonna need your support and help to get that bill signed and passed into law. And I'm gonna assist over here.
Yeah, just one more thing on that, because I think it ties into your question about the numbers and how do we get here with Bill Azalea, a Republican, introducing a bill that we offer. On January 7th, the first week of this current legislative session, CJ, in coordination with other organizations, we took about 100 to 150 people up to Sacramento. I see a lot of those faces in here today.
Right.
It was in that advocacy as we were walking through that Capitol, and the people that were there know that the legislators had never seen anything like that before. They had never seen 100 black folks showing up, talking about reparations, and making a demand. So when we talk about the numbers, my brother's absolutely right. We don't need everybody. We just need committed folks to show up and speak up, stand up, and make the demand. I had the opportunity to do the same thing, to do the same kind of lobby day in DC, doing the same thing, but telling our federal lawmakers we want reparations. And I can tell you the same, we got the same looks. What are these black folks doing? Oh my God. We ain't never seen nothing like this before. So what I like to say is, we gotta show them over and over and over again that we're not going anywhere, we're not gonna be quiet, we're not gonna sit down, we're not gonna lay down and just die. That's right. So that's what we have to get in our heads collectively as a community. Again, tell somebody what you heard here. Tell somebody about AB 1315 and how that's what we need to be supporting. This Republican, I don't care that he's white, I don't care if he's blue, green, yellow, purple, it doesn't matter. That policy is good for us.
Fire.
Black power, second it out.
I love all of this. Hello, beautiful people. I just wanted to also keep in mind, since we're preparing ahead of time, I would just like for us to also keep in mind we do have our children that are growing up, and the world today is wayward. And so if we're going to be getting this money to be able to create generational wealth, we also need to be creating some sort of society for our children to have their minds right to be able to receive this. Because the building of all of this is going to go on for generations and generations to come. And I want my great, 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 great grands to be able to.
You're absolutely right, sister. You are absolutely right. And what I love that you said is that it's going to go on for generations and generations to come. And you know what we need to make that happen? We need an institution that's going to be there for generations and generations to come. That's the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency. That's AB 1315. And we are already talking about an Office of Education within the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency. Think of that as us taking some power in Sacramento. so that we don't just have black legislators shutting us down because the governor tells them to.
Also, I want to make sure this brother here, and I don't think your questions ever addressed. There was so much to talk about. Going back to our need to delineate, I don't know if some of y'all heard this. There was an unfortunate case where a gentleman, we'll call it a gentleman, but someone from Rwanda actually just murdered a black American freedman man in a Taco Bell. He was on some power trip shit. This so-called black man from Rwanda. This is why the need for us to delineate and distinguish ourselves as our own distinct ethnic group is so important, because that guy, worm from Rwanda, he needs to be charged with a hate crime. You know, we have a lot of fighters, a lot of brothers and sisters in the diaspora, but unfortunately we do have a lot of anti-black self-hating operatives coming from the diaspora or from the Caribbean, like the Candace Owenses and stuff like that. And we have to be mature enough to recognize this need that we are a distinct ethnic group. We're not just not this blackness. We're not random Africans. You wouldn't go to the beautiful black people of Fiji and call them African, because they're not Africans. They're Fijians. We are black American freedmen. So this is why we need our own specific designation that has to be state and federally recognized. There's a sister, a black girl, and I think either Riverside or Rialto, who had her head slammed to a table by this Hispanic kid in full view of a Hispanic teacher in a room full of Hispanic students. That's Rialto. So when we got our freedom status, like so-called red Native Americans, like a lot of these Jewish folks, we need our own schools, we need our own police forces, we need our own hospitals that are run by black American freedmen. So
How many of y'all know that we had that at one point? How many of y'all know we had freedom towns? How many of y'all know we had freedom in schools? See, we don't even know what was taken away from us. Now, I want to thank you, brother, for that comment, because that is a great segue and something else that we have to talk about while we're here today. Because we have two bills that we wrote that are now in the process in the California State Legislature. You just heard about the one with the Republican lawmaker, Bill Asaley, AB 1315, to create the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency. We also have a piece of legislation that we wrote with a Democrat, Laura Richardson, to do exactly what this brother said, to disaggregate this data so we can actually be seen in data statewide, at county, city, local levels, because that's how they write policy. That's how they figure out where the dollars go. They use the data that they collect on the people, on communities. And right now, they're not seeing y'all, they're not seeing us. Right now, they see something they call Black African American, and this brother did a great job earlier talking about how that's a problem. So SB 515 is the bill that we wrote with a Democrat. Remember, we told you we're nonpartisan here. We're about reparations and justice. I don't care if it comes from a red or a blue, a black or a brown, a yellow or green. It doesn't matter. It's justice. So SB 515 by Laura Richardson will disaggregate the data, create a category specifically for us all throughout this state. Every city, every county. So that means that when we now walk into the city of Los Angeles and we say, how many descendants do you have working here? How many American freedmen do you have working here? They can tell us. How many American freedmen did you promote? How many American freedmen did you give a raise to? And we already know the answers. We're at the bottom right now, right? We all know the answer. But they'll tell you, we don't know. We don't have the data. We got to take that excuse away. So SB 515 and AB 1315, those are the two bills that you need to know and you need to be talking about when you leave here. Go ahead, Chris.
And I'm going to sister also, and the budget bills.
And
that's
the
where the
budget
checks
bills.
are. That's where the cash payments are. They're in the budget bills. Yes, yes, ma'am. No worries. Absolutely.
Are you connected to companies that do that? I know the Mormon Temple in Westwood used to. You know, that information, someone could put that out so people could get a jump start on that. And then two, not reinventing the wheel. Jews have gotten reparations, and so have Japanese. So many people have benefited and copied us for civil rights. Let's copy them, see how they got it. Start research and see what they did.
Some questions, help me with the sack, please.
You are so on point, sister.
To your question, sister, so one, in the back here, there are info cards with a summary of the bill, AB 1315. Also, the two-page handout has a longer description of the bill. Thank you for asking for the entire bill. You can find the entire bill on our website, cjec-official.org. We have a bills page, so look for the bills page. And the first bill up there is going to be Assembly Bill 1315. And if you're on social media, by the way, too, absolutely. If you're on social media, we've also posted the bill on our X page, on our IG page, on our Facebook page. I think it's on TikTok too. So the whole bill itself is online on our website, also on social media also, and then we have some summary descriptions of it for you here today. Do not leave today without getting one of those postcard info cards with a description of the bill on it. And you got one more question?
Now, I'm a card-carrying, bleeding heart Democrat. I'm disappointed in my party.
Rightfully so.
Typically, African Americans prior to civil rights were Republican because Lincoln freed the who gets his reparations.
Energy, we don't care where it comes from, as long as
My grandfather, he had the same name as my great-grandfather, and her stepfather had the same name. So we had no records of my actual biological great-grandfather. In that day, they were able to find a marriage certificate of my great-grandfather and my great-grandmother just in that afternoon. So when they tell you, oh, we can't find the records, it's gonna be impossible for us to figure out our genealogy, don't believe that. It don't take that long, it's not that hard. I just want to put that out real quick.
And I want to lift up what this sister said, because I want to make sure everybody understands. She said all you need to start tracing your genealogy is a library card. The Black Caucus is telling you they need $6 million in an indefinite study to figure out your genealogy. You have to see how horrible what they are proposing is, and you ought to be as mad as I am about what they are trying to do to us.
Thank you very much. Just a quick story on a genealogy piece. My last name is Turner, and I was able to trace back to 1867, and then there's a brick wall right then and there. However, my great-great-granddad on the census form put that his birthplace of his father was in Virginia. And we all know what happened in Virginia. So just to throw that out there, you know, you can't go back. I got to 1867, there's a brick wall. I mean, you know, I'm thinking that, just to say this, I'm thinking that maybe I have family that was on the plantation, that possibly wearing that Turner is. That's all I'm saying.
Amen.
You know, I don't know if there's any direct connection, but I probably had family that was close to there. But here's my question. How can we kill those other bills? What can we do to make sure those other bills get killed?
Thank you. I'm gonna take that real quick. So, two things. One, you can show up, if you can, in Sacramento on Tuesday, March 25th, Wednesday, March 26th. The two worst of the bills, the study research with no start date, no end date bill, it has its first hearing. And the bureau that depends on the study research with no start date, no end date bill, both of those bills are being heard. in Sacramento, Tuesday, March 25th, Wednesday, March 26th at 9 a.m. It's 1021 O Street, and it's room 1200 for the first day, room 2100 for the second day. You can show up and you can tell the committee to vote no. Tell the committee members to vote no. If you can't show up, you can call and email them right now.
Right now.
Right now. So on our website and on our social media, we actually just posted this yesterday. We have a way for you to email every single member of the committee with 3 clicks of a button. All right, so tell them now. If you can't make it in person, tell them now, and then tell them every day. I mean, I'm gonna click the button every day for the next, amen, 2 weeks. Okay. Tell them now. Okay, and I'm going here, and I'm coming around here. Oh.
Hey, Chris, thank you. I'm so grateful to see so many faces here today. My name is Raphael, and I am a board member of L.E.A.P, and I am a DJ, and I am proud to be a part of this work. I wanted to echo a couple of things that were mentioned in the room about youth, and I just wanted to stress that my grandson here, Marshall, is with us today. Marshall just turned 18. He just registered to vote, and we are waiting today to hear if he was accepted into Morehouse. He has got So I want to get a little personal here, and Marshall knows that I have the best of intentions. I have no intention to embarrass him, but Marshall attends the reality of my school district, as do my other 3 grandchildren, and there are 2 young girls that are the only Black female children in their classes. My husband Joe and I have gone through an arduous process to be certified and be allowed to be on campus as volunteers. They have gate kept and don't allow us to be in those classrooms. Okay? So the first thing I'd like for us to do is please send some energy, positive energy to the young girl and her family. We are trying to work with them. There was a school meeting at DayPac just this past week, but the district showed up. And a lot of people were reluctant to speak their mind because the district was there. There's no real resolution that came out of it. So that family is really dealing with some trauma right now. We need to think about that. And also appreciate that this is a sense of urgency. I have to convince him that I am not a racist because I'm trying to look out for us. I'm the only child in that classroom, and he comes in with all other cultural references. They did nothing for Black History Month. That he matters too. And I'm fighting to do the same thing with the other 3, and when I'm in those classrooms, if I'm lucky, there's 2 of them in the classroom. And I try to make sure that those children know that they matter. That's right. All of these children are our children, but I'm getting tired, I'm beyond tired, of seeing our children being excluded and pushed aside. There's a sense of urgency. Please make sure that the children in your lives know what we're doing, even if they think you're crotchety old grandma.
Special brother, I'm going here, and I'm coming around this side. We got one over here, and we're going around, because this side has been neglected, all right, and we are on our way, all right? Yes, sir.
All right, so I just have a quick question. So I probably missed it in the beginning, I came a little late, but this SB 518, so I know you all have the bill for the California American Freedmen, and I see that these same individuals who did not put the bill out on August 31st, they decided to put this bill out. Established the Bureau of Descendants of American Slavery. So could you, it's a 2-part question, so could you maybe tell us the difference in the actual bills itself, and then who's these actual people that I saw Isaac Bryant saying that the community that he's working with to help him establish these bills? So that's a 2-part question.
You want me to do that, or should I do that?
So I got 1 part in that 2-part, right? So I just want to talk about, because I heard the brother say something earlier about the likelihood of these bills getting passed. And I want to go back to what I said earlier. Governor Gavin Newsom wrote SB 437. So when you think about which bill is likely to make it to his desk, it's probably the one he wrote. Now, because we turned the heat up so hot on them, they had to do something that looked like it might be an agency. But remember, 437 is the same amendments that killed the actual agency bill last year. So Chris is a diplomat. I talk straight. So what I see happening, the Black Caucus put forward a bill they know the governor's gonna pass, and everything else is gonna go in the trash. That's what's gonna happen. And they wanna do it in silence. And they wanna tell y'all, we're gonna study it a little bit more. Because we gotta figure out who you are. And then they're gonna take $6 million out of the budget. We know where that's gonna go. Right? So when the brother asks which bill's gonna pass, if we don't do something, I bet you that study bill passes. If we don't do something, I'll let you take that second
part of your question. So what's the difference between, all right, so this is a really good question. So there are two competing bills right now to create a state institution of some kind to validate, verify who descendants are, who we are. There's two competing bills. Senate Bill SB 518 and then Assembly Bill 1315. All right. So those are the two competing bills. One creates a bureau called the Bureau of Descendants of American Slavery. One creates a state agency called the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency. So there are two different bills. What's the difference? One bill creates a bureau, one bill creates an agency. A bureau is smaller than an agency. You can actually fit bureaus inside of an agency. So one bill is bigger, creates a bigger thing, a bigger state institution, a whole state agency, and one bill creates what could be a part of an agency. What's also different is that the bill to create the state agency was actually what was recommended by the California Reparations Task Force. So the California Reparations Task Force recommended that the state create an agency, not a bureau. And then thirdly, was I think probably one of the most important things is that if you look at the actual language of the bill that creates the bureau, and then look at the actual language of the bill that creates the agency, when it talks about who this institution or thing is for, they talk about the group of people in two different ways. In the bureau, it says to be a descendant of an American slavery or a descendant of American slavery means you have to be someone who is a descendant of an African American who was chattel enslaved in the United States, or a descendant of a free black person who was living in the United States before the year 1900. Let me say that again. So in the bureau bill, the way it talks about who the bureau is for, it describes that group of people as those who are descendants of African American, chattel enslaved people, or descendants of free black people who were living in the United States before the year 1900. That's what the bureau bill calls us, or what it thinks is us. The agency bill says this is for what we call American freedmen. And these are, or this is, a way to describe the legal and political status that those of us whose ancestors were freed from chattel slavery have inherited. The agency bill has no reference to the words African American or black. The bureau bill has references to African American and black. Those are big differences for what we talked about earlier. If your bills have the words black or African American in it, it's almost certainly illegal, almost certainly unconstitutional, almost certainly, almost certainly. So one bill, and this is the case that we've been making, the bureau bill has language in it that we think is illegal and unconstitutional, and thereby will not, some folks say won't survive in court if it gets challenged. I say won't even make it to court because people in Sacramento don't like to pass things that they think are illegal and unconstitutional. So one bill is legally and constitutionally bad, and one bill is legally and constitutionally better. So those are some of the differences between the bills. And then to the last part of your question,
I was just gonna say the major difference is our bill doesn't depend on a study with no start date and no end date. That's the major difference. And I want you all to know how offensive it is that the Black Caucus tells us we need to still study after we just completed a 2-year study called the California Reparations Task Force that did all this work. Go ahead, Tiffany.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because he mentioned the term American freedmen. Can you raise your hand if you ever heard of that or you are aware of what that means? I just want to be sure because it's being thrown around, but you know, we use it all the time, so we take it for granted that everyone may not understand or know freedmen. So can you just elaborate on that really quick?
Yeah, so I think Chris said it. You know, we were enslaved, and then we freed ourselves. How many of y'all know that we freed ourselves? Nobody freed ourselves. Right? So we freed ourselves, and then coming out of enslavement, we were referred to by this government as freedmen. We are just carrying that forward because it never changed. It never went anywhere. That's a legal term. So when we talk about how can they get money to the immigrants, it's because it's a legal term. Here in this state, they consider it to be a legal term, right? How can they get money to veterans? That's a status, right? This is our status. People that were formerly enslaved, but now have freed ourselves, and we are freedmen here in America, American freedmen. So internalize that term. Internalize that. Because what the brother said, we got to get out of Black, African American, I couldn't agree with him more.
I think we gotta go back here first. We gotta go back here first. So brother, let's hear it from the sister Sharice, and then we gotta go here, and then we're coming forward. Yes, sister Sharice.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sharice Pryor. I have a question for the audience. How many of you know who your state legislature is, whether it's your assembly member or your state senator? How many of you know? This is not anything about shame. I just want to, how many have contacted their office on the phone of their representative? Okay. The reason I'm bringing this up is because everything that's being said is verified truth. Because I was on the phone with my assembly member, Sade, how do you say her last name?
El-Hawari.
With her legislative, her office for almost 2 hours talking to the same person, talking to her legislative director. And the first thing I told him was, you guys need to vote against SB 12, which is the Immigrant and Refugee Bureau bill. And we went back and forth about that. We went back and forth about the study bill, but I said, how come the refugees and immigrants don't have a study? He said, well, we know who they are.
where everybody gets paid, but those who have been injured by the state of California. Please don't fall for it. It is a trick to get you to the polls, to keep you continuously in a perpetual state of voting for Democrats to your peril. I want to shout out C-Jack Nasty Lee for being courageous and working with Bill Asaley and finally reaching across the aisle. I was very instrumental in shifting the consciousness nationwide to a protest vote for deportation and deportation and closed borders. Very proud of those of us who had the spirit of the ancestors, who had the backbone to fight back. Understand this, these immigrants are not just here for opportunity, they want our position, especially the ones that look like us. You have to understand the data. African Black, and this is how you know they can delineate. Listen to this stat, real close. African Black was $60,000 liquid to U.S. Black $200 liquid. African Black was 54% degree to U.S. Black 44% degree. African Blacks' median income in California, Los Angeles specifically, was $113,000 to U.S. Black 53,500. Hispanics were 17% degree, and they were within 3,500 of our median income at $50,000. This was 20 years ago, pre-pandemic. So when they flatten blackness, they get to ethnocide, genocide, the American freedmen, whose ancestors built this country with their very lives. When they black us, it makes it easy. This is why the O&B will not allow us to delineate. They will not allow us to take all of our monikers back, like Black, that's us, Negro. Barack Obama got rid of that identifier with Grace Means, saying it was offensive when it's on my birth certificate and 22 million of the rest of us. They want African American. All of this flattens us in such a way that it's easy to replace us because they're using blackness, they're weaponizing our own blackness against us to erase and replace us because people are trying to make it about skin color when it's a whole lineage. So you must not fall for the tricks. You got to get to the place where the Democrats before it, you must be abjectly opposed because usually it's the lesser of two evils. So let's keep going in the direction of nonpartisanship. Lastly, Chris, I want to know from you, I've been getting these great links. Thank you, Jan Boo. If you're in the house, I don't see you. But I thank you, Jan, because she keeps me apprised.
Right there.
There's my girl. It's Angela from the rap respect back here. Thank you, sis. Yeah, thank you, because she's been sharing these great links that you guys have been sending about your bills. And you guys have written the letter. You've got all the senators. Everybody's in there. So my thing is, can we do the same thing to push back? Because we've got to be as proactive in getting our bills passed as we are in defeating their bills. It must be a full-on assault where we're creating the same thing, because what I found when I was fighting and trying to call around to help the baby girl up in Rialto at that school, they were pushing me off, blowing me off. Then I got the people so riled up making calls that they took the phone off the hook. Yeah, they took the phone off the hook. They were trying to get rid of us. That video went viral. Thank you everybody in X that made that viral. But my question is, how do we fight back with the power of y'all's pen and y'all's links? Because our people don't know how to put the language together like that. They oftentimes don't know who to call, who to email. These are things we still need guidance on. Do you have a plan to actually defeat all these measures that are operating against us? Thank you.
Answer the question. We're coming over here, right here, and then we're coming up to the front, and then let me answer her question. The answer is yes. So before you leave, Make sure you are signed up for our newsletter that we put out once every 2 weeks, every month. And we send out text message alerts also. We include in those emails and those text message alerts, we include the calls to actions. We put the one to stop the two baddest of the bills out yesterday, but it was on social media only. The next email we send out on Monday will have that call to action link. And what I mean by that is you'll get an email from us on Monday with a link that you can click where you can tell every person who's on the committees or the people in Sacramento who are gonna vote on these bad bills to tell them to vote no. The hearings are on the 25th and the 26th for the first of the bad bills. So we do have a plan. The plan is in motion right now. We've already written the email for you. All you have to do is read it. If you like it, click send. So you don't have to write it yourself, and you also don't have to figure out who to send it to. You read it, you like it, you click send, and it goes to who it's supposed to go to. And then absolutely, so you can also, so if you can't come to Sacramento and hopefully everybody here can do the email part, you can also call their offices, and you don't have to wait till the hearing. You can call them, we'll tell you Saturday, call them on Monday morning. And then call them also Tuesday, Wednesday, through the hearings. And then let me go here. What's up?
Make a question. I just wanted to ask if you knew who the assemblyman for this district is. Isaac Bryan. So he is the vice chair of and your senator is Lola Small with Quavis. If you live in Lamert, Isaac Bryan, this is his district. We did invite him, like someone said earlier, but you just should be aware that our assemblyman in this area is the vice chair of the California Legislative Black Caucus. So if you do live in Lamert, Culver City, we need to, you to really focus on hitting him up, especially, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, you can even go to their office in person just to let them know. Please do that as well.
Chris. You working on your birthday? Hold on, we got here. She been waiting.
This brother patiently waiting.
Well, brother, we got it twice though. Let me go here, and then we'll come back and forth. We got to get the rest of the family too, brother. And then we will absolutely come back. We're trying to get the folks who haven't spoken yet.
All right, let's go.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
I just want to thank Karen and Lee and everybody that took this organization, this program together. Okay, on X, as she mentioned, you got some of us on there 24/7. Literally, we don't sleep because we combat the anti-blackness. For real. I've listened to George Soros, he's a Democrat, right? He a white boy, right? 4 years, call us big had legislative session because they was fucking embarrassed because Bill and Sadie embarrassed their ass for not calling the bill to the floor. So if you're not involved and aware, then yeah, you look at them bills and say, oh, it's good. Ain't none of them good. And they do the same because they like the crime is right. You know, good goddamn well that ain't no facts. It's race-based. And he ain't say nothing about nothing, provide no tangible funding for the kids that's already in L.A.U.S.D. He didn't say nothing about the Reset program. Now, as much as some of y'all may like Senator Bradford, but him and Tony Thurman is good buddies. But who else? He just retired, Dr. McKenna, the board member on L.A.U.S.D. Not none of them out of all the years that he sat on the board, he not ever did anything for black students. And then came to his retirement at the board on Boldry. And some of us were there. So we're not just doing this for reparations, we're doing this on the educational level. So we all at Boldry and we in our schools. We're not playing. We don't have time. Slam another child on the desk.
Thank you, sis. Thank you, sis.
When they hit court, I'ma make sure I'm there. If I can't be there at every one of the hearings, I'ma make sure that as long as they're allowed to support me, because they do need that support.
Put your hands up for Sister Von Passing. Coming back to the top. We got one there. We got an order, brother. We got Femi right there. Then we coming around. Then we gonna do some sister right here too. Oh,
Go ahead, brother. You patiently wait. Go ahead.
thank you, brother.
Well, first I gotta say I love my black people. I did want the panel to touch on the SB 40, which was the John Connor bill, and the Sheila Jackson Lee bill.
HR 40.
HR 40. But I see the young lady did a great job. It was speaking pretty loud here, I guess. I go around speaking at a lot of events, right? This is probably another passion event, and I always start out and say, God say, stop killing this creation, right? And just give you a fast forward. We all in alignment with God, right? Y'all passion, y'all smart, y'all wits, right? Just a quick interview. Big Money, I met Big Money probably 1986, 87, walking down Eucalyptus. He had a basketball in his hand. And I said, man, I'm your mailman, right? Years ago, right? Had no idea that we was going to be in this facility together. Just show you how God's working. We never talk about politics at all, right? And I'm a fast forward, kind of harsh right now. I'm writing 2 books, right? And what y'all talking about today, people was telling me that I'm gonna get killed for, right? And I said, no, this book is finna come out, right? And just over the last 2 years, just seeing how we are in alignment with God, where we going with God, and I've been testing the water. I call myself a secret weapon, right? I said, man, when this book come out, all hell break loose with the 2 secrets, right? And the 2 secrets are gonna come out, right? And all hell is gonna break loose. Because we are in alignment with God. And just fast forward, here's the real deal. Because we are browning up all over the world again, that is the deal. It's the browning of the world, right? And I always take them back 3.7 million years ago, right? And when you take them back that far, they get really, really scared, right? And so here's the deal. Black folks, I'm talking to black folks only, right? In the beginning, God created heaven and earth, right? If you want to believe the book, if you don't read the book, we're going back to black, and that's what I tell them, whether you like it or not, right? We bringing back a universal change all over the world because it has been a dysfunction of people. You know, and like I tell them, and I told the pastors, I talk to gangbangers, I talk to individuals. I said, you on the right side of God or you on the wrong side of God? You have to make a decision. And whatever God gives you in your heart today, when I'm hearing the passion and you really believe what you are doing, I say continue going there because we going there. And like I tell you, we going there whether Democrat, Republican, Independent, whether you like it or not, world order is going to get restored, right? Reparation, and I tell them, we are going to get reparation.
That's right.
That I can tell you for sure.
Of course.
You know, I gave a speech. I call it Make It Make Sense. My girl was here, I gave another speech in Downey. I call that for silence. Everybody want to be silent about reparation, and they want to work their movement, right? That's cool too, right? But see, here's the deal again. And I tell them, and I know it's kind of scary, right? It's going back to black, whether you like it or not. If you start studying the DNA, the genealogical disease, the produce is going back, right? Because law and order is going to get restored, whether you like it or not. And I'm ending on this note. Again, I go with big money because I had no idea that we're going to be in the same stage again. I had no idea that I was going to be writing this book, right? I had no idea that the two speakers were going to be coming up. And before even I put myself out on this playing field like that, I studied a lot of law. I studied people, right? And I said, wow, God, this is a really big task for us that we're going to do, right? And I am so excited, and I tell them all the time, we are getting reparation whether you like it or not. It ain't no stop.
I appreciate you. So I don't want to miss. So I want us to take some action together before we leave, right? So we do this every event that we do. We throw punches politically and throw kicks politically and shoot missiles politically while we're doing the event. So we don't just do events where you come here and then you walk out, without doing nothing. We're gonna spend some time doing that. I want to get to the last round of comments and thoughts here. We're coming up in the last 30 or 40 minutes or so. Big Money, I'm asking you to make it as brief as you can. Then I'm gonna go sister here, and I'm gonna go brother here, and then going back to the front up there. Okay, I'm gonna end up here, brother. Right? All right.
Yeah,
Big Money.
And real quick for everybody you see, we got a lot of folks that want to make comments or ask questions. So please just kind of cut it down a little bit because we got a lot of folks we got to get to.
Please do.
I want to thank the brother who's been in a post office. I remember you back in the 80s, bro. Thank you, man. Let me just say real quickly, to the sister here and to the sister here, I felt your passion. And if there's any closing words that I want to share with you all, is that a quitter never wins and a winner never quits. You cannot quit on this, okay? So spread the word, what you heard, on how we need to strategize to get our people to realize that in spite of all past years' adversity, success can still be obtained. Let me just say this real quick. Our ancestors were the first best friends white folks ever had for over 400 years. Our ancestors were the first best friends white folks ever had for over 400 years. And today, we are watching where these, and I don't have a problem with them coming over here, undocumented immigrants, getting hotels, motels, Holiday Inns, free medical, free dental, cars and everything. And then they send some of that money back home. And that weakens our dollar, our American dollar. when we stay in our neighborhoods. We don't even go to the beach, some of us. I do. You know. We don't even go on airplanes. I do. But at the same time, you know where I'm coming from. And at the same time, we keep our money solvent. So I'm asking you, Chris, I'm asking you, Chad, to spread the word what you heard, because I can't make it to Sacramento on the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th. I can't make it there. So at the same time, I would ask that you tell them that black people were the first best friends white folks ever had. And then I need you to let them know, that we want to keep our money solvent here in America and in California, and we deserve reparations. So goes California, so goes the nation, Gavin Newsom. And all we're saying is that, Gavin Newsom, you're out in 2026. So now what we're saying to you is that before we kick the can down the road, we need you to give us our reparations. If you have any intentions of coming to our black churches and asking us to vote for you, and our black caucus to ask you to vote for them, we need y'all to tell your pastors and your priests in these churches that we're not doing that unless we get reparations.
Thank you,
So
man.
spread the word what you heard on that as well.
Thank you, man.
There's so much more.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, big man. Thank you. Okay, we're going sister here. And I'm taking everything you said in the hearing. All right, thank you, brother. Let's respect the comments.
Good afternoon, family. I just wanted to mention a lot of these Senate bills or Assembly bills that we see on here, they've been written by Gavin Newsom, and the reason why he's written them is because he's using our tax dollars to commit genocide on the American people, the freedmen community to be exact. All of these state, city, and federal entities or agencies here in California have all been infiltrated with criminals. For example, the Civil Rights Department, right here on 4th and Hill. You can just go right up there. They got a whole floor as big as this building. Ain't nobody in there working. He's saying he want to use the Civil Rights Department and the Department of Education. We just now seen one of our freedmen children get beat in the school system. We don't have no protection here. I will be going to Sacramento in March to let Gavin Newsom know to not give our monies to any of these non-profit organizations and stop getting funding. We're asking for funding in the name of the atrocities and injustices our family continue to endure today. I also want to mention as far as actions, we can step to our elected officials. Right now, they keep saying Trump, Trump, Trump. We're not worried about Trump. Right now, we're worried about taking care of our families right now, freedom community, so we can step to them and let them know, hey, we're not going to approve of you or any of your budgets or anything until you include us in them. So I just wanted to say that, family, and cut the check.
Thank you, sister. Very good. Check. I got two here that I'm coming up. All right? Back to back. And then if y'all can make it as brief as possible so we can get to everybody before we leave. Yes, sir.
Going back to what our sister here was talking about in terms of what practical solutions that we can do, we got to start getting people that are grassroots. We got to start getting them in the game, and we got to start not just speaking with our mouths, but speaking with our wallets. So all these other groups, especially the Jewish folks, they put money behind the candidates that they want in office, and as a result, the candidates do what they tell them to. I bought the Cowboy Carter album this year. I bought the GNX album this year. So I support black artists. We got to start supporting our black politicians, ones that are not about the bullshit. We have to put money behind them so that they're not prostituting themselves to all these other groups. Because we can talk and complain about our do-nothing black politicians, but are we contributing to our black politicians and make sure that they're properly financed so that they don't have to sell us out for a buck, so they're not working for peanuts? So we got to put our economy to work here.
And we got to support our black organization that's on the ground doing the fight. Y'all see these QR codes around the room. Scan one, put 5 on it. help us out because we are all coming out of our own pockets. As you heard Chris say, we just regular people. We're not getting paid to do this. We are coming out of our own pockets to do this. And we're doing it for all of us. So if you haven't, please help support us.
All right, so I got 2 takeaways. I don't know if people know, if you live in Tina McKinner's district, she's our assembly person, covers parts of Inglewood, Westchester, some of that area over there. March 18th at 6 p.m., there's gonna be a town hall. It's gonna be online, so I know she doesn't wanna see us in person, but we've been running her down, so we're gonna, you gotta go to her website, register, do the whole RSVP thing. It's gonna be on Zoom. It's gonna be on Zoom, so it's not in person. It's not in person. She doesn't want to come in person right now, so it's going to be on Zoom. You got to go to her website, RSVP, register so you can get the Zoom link. That's one thing. Tina McKinner. Tina McKinner, March 18th, 6 p.m. March 18th, 6 p.m. That's Tina McKinner. She was one of the ones that put Bradford on wax last year. So again, we're going to make sure she understands what we want. And then the other thing is the governor race is coming up. We heard white liberal Katie Porter. She's throwing her hat in the ring. She likes to do the whole people of color minority coalition, so we got to keep her on notice. The other person that's running is, well, she hasn't said anything, but Kamala Harris. And then the last person, actually I don't know that other person, but those are 2 things I'm doing. Thanks.
Right on, bro. Okay. Sis.
Very quickly, my question is, what is our plan to involve or galvanize the youth? I don't know what's that arrangement, but just having someone maybe with a large following or a large crowd to kind of signal boost the message that can kind of appeal to the newer generation. That's something that I'll be willing to, participate or help with. I'm a small business owner in the Los Angeles area and very well connected to a lot of different circles, and this is something that I really want to signal boost to people of our generation. So I don't know if there's a plan already put together to galvanize or have the youth involved, but that's something that I would like to talk about if there isn't.
Sign up to volunteer with us. We launched, to answer the question, we launched a BSU outreach program late last year. Every month to start this year, we presented and been at BSU events with youth, and it's actually being led by some youth right now too. So we would love to have more support on this, and we would love to have you volunteer for that program. We have a BSU outreach program where we are taking reparations education into the BSUs now, all across the state. High school BSUs, college BSUs also. That launched, I want to say, late 2024. Okay?
And I just want to say that's to everybody in the room too, because again, we are in a place that we've never been in our history in this country. We are building this plane as we fly it. The genius and the ideas are coming from you. Get involved. That's the activism part. Give us your ideas. Sign up to volunteer. Send out the calls to action. Walk outside, talk to somebody on the corner. That's what we have to do and make it a habit as a community where this is what we're talking about. This is all we're talking about. So when they come to talk to us, this is what they have to talk about. Go ahead, brother.
Hi guys, my name is Zeno. I'm part of Africatown. While you guys are spending time being informed by our people here with CJ, me and Kevin were out passing our flyers and touching people, boots on the ground. All right. It's very interesting, just that little bit of time and what we experienced. But I want to just preface it by saying, I grew up in my generation being told that I was the future, and for some odd reason, I kind of still believe. I'm trying to convince my generation that reparations are important or that they.
Africatown family is reaching outside, talking and building and learning also. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate that 1,000. Sis.
So, as we all know, this is a state of emergency. This is not something that we can keep putting on the back burner. We can't keep dealing with these assembly people and say, oh, you just did enough just to say you do something. No, that's not enough. Everybody here needs to know about Edward Blum. You need to look up Edward Blum. He's Jewish. He served the California
He served as state attorney, Shirley Weber.
And that's what we got to start pushing back against those. I believe we need to do lawsuits. I don't. These politicians and voting is good. Okay, I agree. I love it. I'm with it. But there's need to be.
Mentioned the name Edward Blum. That is a real person. This is absolutely correct. This is someone who has been suing states and cities to prevent reparations from happening in states and cities. I think he sued the state of New York. He's already talked about California. He said, "What y'all doing out there is illegal, and look for me." Right on. Thank you, sir. And the point that sisters make is absolutely, and brothers making a great point too. This is also a legal fight. It's a legal offensive fight. It's also a legal defensive fight too. So absolutely correct, sis. Sorry for waiting.
Peace, fam. My name is Melina Lawrence. I've been a part of this community for quite some time, in and out as well, between here and the Bay Area. And reparations has been one of my, heartfelt platform issues when it comes to representing us in the community, socially, politically, mentally, spiritually, economically, culturally, from a generational perspective. And so as I'm listening, this morning I have a lot of thoughts, but I'm gonna stick to just 1 or 2 points. I'd like to learn more because I've learned so much sitting here in 30 minutes than I've gathered in the past year. So whatever I can do on behalf of our community, our ancestors, our people, and what we deserve, I'm here for it, intentionally that is. And when it comes to what I'm doing now and what I think is going to be best for my contribution to this plight is I work in media, I work in film and production and TV, and I actually am creating a show. I actually have a show. We have 8 episodes, and we have a series on reparations. And I didn't know where to start, so I started with just community voices. And what I'm hearing now, I would love to co-collaborate a episode so that we can actually get the facts, like the real facts, the heart of the matter, and all its things when it comes to legislation and public policy, but more importantly, like my family, my circles, I have many circles, they're like, well, Melina, we really ain't gonna get reparations. Are we wasting our time? There's so many debates that are false that I think with the right education and information, generationally speaking, we can mobilize the energy we need, the economic support that this organization deserves. So whatever we can do, I'm here for that. The last point I'm making is this morning I spent about 2.5 hours on a town hall call based in Ghana. And it was the AU, the African Union, ECOSOC. Yeah, ECOSOC. You were on that call too? Bet. Give thanks. So, ending the call and then coming here, I just want to say, for those, we're in a room of the church, we all in the choir. So I just want everybody to know that this day is aligned with a global movement. The last thing they announced on that call, aside of we're going to be back and we'll have these meetings every quarter, is our platform rolling out in 2025 and beyond is reparations. So we have the support we need, and all we gotta do is keep building it, keep fighting it, and keep supportively and honestly supporting each other transparently, and let nothing, no one, no thing come in between the movement that we have for our people to receive reparations. Let this change not be working. Y'all doing too much of the work.
Thank you so much. Talking before you leave, please. Absolutely right. We're coming this way. We're coming back around.
I just got one thing. One thing I just want to say, because I've heard the comment a couple of times about you hear from other people, we ain't never gonna get reparations. So y'all do know when we was enslaved, there was Negroes out saying we ain't never gonna be free. Y'all do know that, right? So when you hear that, that's the response that you give. Said, we got free, now we're gonna get what's owed to us. All right?
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Double R in the court from CJ. First of all, shout out to Africa Town. Everybody give them a round of applause, man. We appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be doing work. Man, I've been watching y'all, homie. We need about 100,000 look like y'all. But check this out. Double R in the court. Check this out, lineage. We was talking about lineage base. I'm gonna tell you the story. I was at the CJ, the Reparations Task Force meeting in San Diego. Brother Jerry Moss was he's a genealogist. He had one test. He said, who wants this test? He turned around and gave it to me. I still got the picture. This is my cousin. He turned out to be my cousin. Who in here did their DNA? Who know who they are? Anybody? Who know who they are? Anybody? I got 15 different nations in me. I cried like a baby when I got my DNA results back. I didn't know I had all this in me. Everybody talking about I got DNA family. I ain't got no damn DNA in my family. That people Creole. But however, you guys need to do your DNA. Right now, it's 60% off. And me and cousin Jerry, I represent CJ. We do a genealogy Zoom twice a month, the first and third Sunday. We got genealogists around the United States. It is so powerful. You have 7 different ways. You don't have to pay for him. Cousin Jerry will break that lock. You ain't got to pay the $12 or $19 a month. He will break that lock. Man, I had people living right next to me that was my kid, folks. But just to know, we are the real colored people. We are the real colored people here with colored nations, different nations. We're the real rainbow colored people. We are beautiful. We are unique. And like I say, I advise everybody, get your DNA done. You will love it. Okay, one more time. What do we need? Reparations. When do we need it? Now. What do we need? Reparations. When do we need it? Now. Black power every second of the, you know the rest.
Family, we got to wrap us up soon. I got one here.
I knew you had other stuff in you from the
here. I think that might be it, and then I need y'all to do some action with me before. You want to go again too? Okay, we go here, and then we out. That's it.
All right, this is church today, Church of Reparations. Praise the Lord. So I want to piggyback on what Melina has mentioned. This morning was something called AU ECOSOC. It represents the 6th region of the African Union. That means U.S., descendants of chattel slave. So when I say this movement and CJAC and L.E.A.P, and all of the people that has done the work for the last 5-6 years to bring us to this point, we have to continue to educate ourselves. Our young people, the young lady back there that talked about how we mobilize youth, that's the question of the hour. That's the answer that we need to answer. If our young people are not with us at this stage of the game, you might as well hang it up. At the end of the day, they're the ones that need to be connected to politics because we have not been in those spaces as we should be. So I'm grateful again for this town hall and to be we're family, and as you said, if you have not traced your DNA, do your DNA. So my family came on the good ship Desire in 1636. 1636. So we built this country. But what do we have to return in investment for our taxes, for the blood, sweat, and tears that we built? Practically zero. So we gotta stop with the divisive measures, because at the end of the day, we're all considered Negroes. Okay, no matter what tribe you're from, what's your lineage, we still don't have what is owed to us. So at this point, I look forward to see all of the United States really have reparations at the top of their voice for our youth. So that being said, my name is Dr. Truthman. I'm actually a policy analyst. So when it comes to writing legislation, how we get reparations, you have to do it with the right verbiage. So at the end of the day, turn off that Netflix, turn on something and learn about lineage-based reparations, what it's all about. Really get on top of it so when it comes time to present what's owed to us that we all are speaking the same language and on the same page. Ashe.
Amen. Okay, sis, we got one more after that, and then we are going to wrap up with some action. Yes.
Yeah, I just had two quick things. Funny face, Angela. Anyway, she get it. I wanted to ask you about, he was saying something about the bill of the immigrants and the refugees.
SB 12.
Did Obama already have when he was in, did he do the Office of New Americans? Is that the same thing? Or yeah, okay. Yeah, Office of New Americans. So what's the difference between those two things?
Federal and state.
Yeah, anyway, and also, this is kind of personal. I have a grandson that was in Wilberforce in Ohio, and he said he wasn't able to complete his college because he said Trump. You know, he didn't give me any other explanation, so I was wondering if we can do something, what we can do personally, immediately to help people like that.
Right. So I'm going to answer the question when I'm walking to the last comment over here. So I think my brother Chad gave an answer to the question about what's the difference between the state immigration agency and the Office of New Americas, which is a federal thing. It's a state versus federal thing. So California is trying to create a state immigration office, and the federal government has been going around and creating a federal national immigration offices called the Offices of New Americas. Long story short, people who are immigrants to the country, documented, undocumented, have whole state agencies, whole state offices, and we are having none of that, and cash and all kind of other things, and we working to get ours, and that is a problem.
No study required.
And with no studies at all needed. Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Raymond. I'm with Reparations Over Everything, CJ and African Town Coalition. So, we need everybody to boycott the nonprofits because everybody heard about the California Black Freedom Fund, right? They got over $100 million, and we don't see none of these so-called organizations that got the $100 million. They not doing anything for the community. The California Black Power Network, the Learn Institute, we see our people dying on the street sidewalk. Over 7 people die in Los Angeles a day. That's the majority of our people. So we've been getting the people off the streets. We did a march in Watts, Compton, and Skid Row, which is the largest black population. For you understand, these California Legislative Black Caucus members, they all voted to get these illegal $75 million though. And on the city level, they trying to give them $540,000 to fight against illegal immigration for 3 months. So they're getting all these programs, so it needs to be a lawsuit to be filed against the $75 million though. And the California Legislative Black Caucus, they playing in our face, all of them need to be voted out. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Thank you for allowing me to speak. And also, support AB 1350. That's the only news-based bill that we want everybody to support. All the bills that California Legislative Black Caucus refused to meet with the black grassroots. So every last one need to be voted out.
Salute. Appreciate that. Also, my sister Brandy just let me know. My sister Brandy said there's an announcement. She said, I think she said Dr. Umar is speaking. He said, where at this is? In Long Beach today. So check the social if folks want to go out there and check that out. Okay. So please take out your cell phones. If you got your cell phones with you, which I'm sure you do, please take your cell phones out. Right? Go into your phone and whatever app you use to go on the internet, whether it's Chrome, Firefox, Safari, go on the internet, and I want you to go to our website, www.cjec-official.org. I'll give you a minute. www.cjec-official.org. official.org. We'll actually do a couple of things. www.cjec-official.org. cjec-official.org. Now, by the way, if you put cjecofficial.org, it's going to come to the same place too. It's going to go to the same place. Also, while you're getting on the website, I'm going to put the sister on blast. even though she just walked in. The chair of the California Reparations Task Force just walked in the door. Camilla Moore. Welcome. Shout out to All right. So you should be on your phone on the website. Now, if you're on there in the last 3 to 5 seconds, a pop-up window probably came up, asked you to put your cell phone number somewhere. All right. If it didn't, go to the top of the front page and click that. Yep, there you go. Click that that 3-line menu button, right? That hamburger menu, we can call it. Right? Click that button on the top, and you want to go to the Get Involved page. Get involved. Get involved page. Right? Get involved. Right. Yep. Oh, that's 2 beautiful words. Get involved. Get involved. Right there. I probably didn't tap it correctly. Thank you. All right. So when you get to the Get Involved page, check every box. Yep. You can do it that way too, or you can do it this way too. So that's how it is. If I can, and hit that. Boom, and then hit the Get Involved. Boom, boom, boom. So sign up. Once you get to the Get Involved page, sign up for the email list, sign up for the text messages, sign up to volunteer. That's the first step to taking action. You got to get connected to the correct information regularly. All right. Then, once you've done that, I want you to go to one other page on there. There's a page called Take Action. There's a Take Action page. So after you signed up on the Get Involved page, you've taken your first steps. The second step is to take some action. So you want to go to the Take Action page. Once you get to the Take Action page, I want you to click every single one of those links. Every single one of those links is one of our calls to actions. Act now. So, sis got it up right here, right? So, you can see, perfect, right? So it says call to action, click the Act Now button. All right? Once you click the Act Now button, it's gonna ask you to fill out some information, and it's gonna tell you what the specific action is about that you're filling out information for. So, one of the actions that we ask you to take is to email and contact people in the Capitol right now to tell them to support and introduce real reparations bills this year with actual money in them, checks. That's one of the actions on there. There's another action on there also. The other action is telling the governor's office and the people in Sacramento also to put money in the budget for reparations this year. Put money in the budget for reparations this year, and shout out to my brother, Catalego. He also just kind of brought this up. We also want the money that goes in the budget not to go into the hands of no nonprofit organization. We want to go directly to the people. And listen, I work for nonprofit organizations. That's part of my day job, okay? And I'm gonna tell you right now, with respect to the nonprofits that, some do good work, but let me just keep it real. We know, Brother Catalego said it, a lot of time, most of the time, too often, money go to nonprofits, don't go to the people. The nonprofit people get paid a lot, the problem gets worse. So they getting paid a lot, the problem's getting worse, all right? So take that second action, so click that second Act Now button. Then there's a third Act Now button also. And that is specifically telling the California Assembly Budget Human Services Committee, the committee that oversees the checks and the cash payments, to put them checks in the budget this year. Put checks, starting with our seniors first. We're gonna start with our elders first, 60 and over, right? That's how we call the elder. Right? Put checks in the budget this year. This year, right? The budget bill has to be done by May or June. So May, June, sometime midsummer. So click all three of those Act Now buttons on that Take Action page. You can do it daily. You gonna say multiple? I was gonna say multiple times a day. I do one in the morning and when I go to bed. I think Chad, you do one in the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. Definitely, thank you.
Just to add, because we got a fourth call to action.
Yep.
That you can participate in today. So you heard the brothers from African Town, you see them outside now. They're going to be canvassing in Lamert Park immediately following this event. Lori, you have a sign-up sheet, I was told? I'm sorry. Lori here has a sign-up sheet. Raise your hand for me, sweet. Raise your...
Brother Billion, they got the sign-up sheet.
Okay, Billion. But check in with Billion and Lori to sign up to canvass today if you are available immediately following this. Again, tell somebody what you heard here today.
Right on. And when we say canvas, what we mean is we go into our neighborhoods, block to block, door to door, park to park, person to person, and we tell people what's going on, and then we get them involved. And that is important, especially now, because we have real live actual bills that we need people to know about and to support. So that take action, and brother, thank you very much. But can I see that? Let me see. Okay. Can I hold you up real quick? So the brother just did the action. I see you should be seeing some of these kind of thank you for your support messages as you do the actions. Thank you for letting me see your phone, brother. I appreciate it. And breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay. Do it in the morning. Do it for lunch. Do it for dinner. If you can show up to Sacramento on Tuesday, March 25th, Wednesday, March 26th, please do. Because you just signed up for our email, you will get the specific instructions about where to meet us, et cetera, et cetera. But it's 1021 O Street. Tuesday is from 1200. Wednesday is from 2100. 9 a.m. both days. And we are going to tell the Black Caucus members and the committee, stop with the bad bills, stop the study, stop the delay, put cash payments in the budget, and pass an actual bill that's going to help us validate who we are as a people and then get us what we owe. And then, of course, as was just mentioned, if you are available today or any other day, we need you out there in the streets with us. And we need you out there. So take action today. And then share with 3 people. Okay? Family, I do got to wrap us up. What's up? Thank you. Absolutely. So, sister, just remind me of one last thing. Make sure you are supporting us on social media too. It's at CJEC Official on social media as well. Okay? And also, hit that donate button. Thank you, family.
Thank you, family, for being here.
Very welcome.
Give yourselves a round of applause for being here.
We are 5 minutes early. All right. That's the first time ever.
That is too funny.
I know. We started on time-ish and we ended early.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for saying that. We thank you for hugging if you don't mind.
No, I'm a husband.
I gotta get
God bless you.
Sorry, I
it was still a lot of people, but I wanted to ask you. I used to follow Mr. People. He got the vote. He's went back in the day. He's preached the referendum. Okay. I don't know if he passed it. But
that was a great question. I wish I would have got you, but that was a great question. Let me give you my answer now. So one, we fully support federal reparations. We want the federal national government to pay. States was a part of it too. So we're saying states should be responsible. So for example, a lot of people think there was no slavery in California. There was slavery. Right. So California allowed, supported, and profited from slavery. So California now owes for reparations also. And there are cities and counties who are part of it too. There's private businesses who are part of it also. Insurance company, absolutely right.
As I look at that, and I know the organization,
Probably more. Yeah, I think so, and I know there's folks working in those southern states also. We take the approach that everybody that owes gotta pay. So anybody that owes gotta pay us something. Now we focus on the state stuff, and so that's why we support the other things. That's how we're fighting for. So
Hey, did somebody stop this? What happened? Somebody stop this?
We gotta make sure that's what actually happens. But the way we're going about it, if you get it from
We're having a
California,
party. I still need the audio and all that. Only thing I need to really break down right now is the camera.
national government to do it.
But I'm trying to find out why it's not responding to my touch.
That was
And I gotta find out what's going on with this because even when it's plugged in, the battery's still drained. But then once you get to zero because it's plugged in, it still works. But why would the battery drain?
I've done my own just from talking to my grandma, who can tell me about her mother, and they can tell me about her father.
We actually work with people who are living this thing.
My great-grandparents, right? So, like the truth of the matter is, most black people in lives today in this country are less than 4 generations removed from slave days.
Hey, I saw you. How's everything? What's going on? Not much. Where Kate at? She I haven't talked to her. Really? You still doing your Instacart stuff?
No. I'm still doing a few jobs, but Instacart is not one of them.
You don't know what? They gathered thousands of hours of witness, expert, and community testimony. They brought in genealogists. They brought in other reparations leaders. Yeah, you can touch it.
I just lost my hand.
Okay, so the study has already been done, and the fact that they think that we need another study is starting to go in. This should be offensive to our community, especially coming from black legislators.
One last question. You got Governor Newsom reaching out to how concerned are you given what you're trying to do? Mike.
Yeah. I mean, so my concern is Governor Newsom seems not to support justice for black people in California. We are nonpartisan. We're not Democrats, we're not Republicans, we're not left, we're not right. We are about reparations. So my concern with the governor has nothing to do with who we pals around with, who we have on the podcast, or who we talk to late at night. My concern is that he has shown that he's going to support justice measures for our community here in the state of California, and that's something that we must address. Brother, I appreciate your comments. So flies, they should be back there on the back table.
Because, you know, we got this stuff.
Yeah. The flyers? Yeah, I think they got something on the back table. Did you look on the back table? Yeah, the little. Come here.
Excuse me, Chris.
Oh yeah, it's huge. Always, because it's important. We need to know who we are. People from Nigeria is Nigerian. People from Japan is Japanese. We are rainbow colored people. We got all we gotta know who we are. I told you I cried like a baby when I got that shit. I'm like, damn, man, I don't know. And you know what? A whole lot. Yes. That's why I stopped hating these Europeans that time. I gotta be.
I gotta break this down. Yep. So